What is going on, everybody? Let me fix this camera real quick. There we go. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday afternoon. Sorry for the bouncy camera. We'll stop in a second. Welcome in. If this is your guys' first time here, get your questions read live here on the live stream. I go live every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, 12 noon Pacific to 2 p.m. Pacific. Sorry for my tardiness today. I was finishing setting up the stream, and I was getting a little behind. So we're going to do this live because this winners list was actually a lot more difficult than I thought when it came to ranking everything. And honestly, Canva was really not giving me a good time. So setting it all up was kind of a nightmare, and I probably procrastinated a little bit. I did work late last night, so didn't have as much time to get this set up, but I figure we'll do this live on stream with you guys in the chat, and you guys can let me know your reactions live. Let's get to some of the comments here. What's up, my dad's chips? Thank you so much for joining. Bobby, I've been watching Ashley and BB27's alums posting videos on Twitter. You should see Ashley finding out Riley is a deadbeat dad. Too funny. I'll have to check that out. I want to watch that. Maybe I'll try to see if I can find it and pull it up here on screen. If you have the link, send me the link. It would save me a lot of time trying to be able to find it. So thank you, my dad's chips, for being here. Juan, as always, good to see you, my friend. Thank you so much for joining the chat. Hope you guys are all doing well. And Amy, what's going on, Amy? Good to see you again. Let's see here. Juan says, are interviewers actually asking Ashley if she heard that Riley is a deadbeat dad? That I don't know. You guys would know more than I would. So I'm very excited to see it. If you guys have any links, anything that wouldn't get me copyright, like if it's just like posting stuff on their own personal Twitter and stuff, we're good. But as long as it's not like a professional outlet, then that is a little more tricky for the situation. I am doing live commentary, so it's not, there is fair use in some parts, but I like to kind of be careful about fair use stuff. So if you guys can, send me those links, and I'd be happy to show those on screen as long as they're appropriate. What's up, Big Sissy Banana, excuse me. Good to see you in, my friend. Hope you guys are all doing well. We got 8 people in the chat, guys. So tonight's stream, or today's stream, I should say, is going to be about ranking Big Brother North American winners all time. And it's going to be a little bit difficult because, like I said, the interface was kind of being funky with me. But I'm definitely interested to get your guys' opinions, and you guys can help me set this all-time winners ranking. Some of them are a little bit trickier for me. There's a couple of seasons that I didn't really watch or didn't watch completely, not as far as like US I've seen it all, but Big Brother Canada 12 I kind of tuned out early. I was pissed off that they didn't have live feeds and didn't really care. So that one, I know that Bailey is the winner of that season, but I couldn't tell you really how well she did up until 3 weeks into the season. So there is going to be some trickiness. I would like to get your guys' take on where I should fix things. So I definitely will be taking your guys' input in the chat as well. So let's see here. Hey, Lerma, what's going on? Good to see you. I need to see some of these videos. I want to see what they think now that they are finding everything out. I do too. So if you guys have the links to these videos from their Twitter accounts, let me know. I would love to see them. Hi there. What's up, Marcia? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for joining the chat. So yeah, let's get into it. Let me see here if I can find some of the things you guys are saying. Ashley Hollis. Let's see if that's definitely not it. I wish it was just give me people. Maybe it's under people. So let me see here if I can pull up and find through their own personal account. Bobby, I sent you the link on Twitter. Okay, thank you. Let me pull that up then, if you have it on here. Let me see here. Bear with me for a second, guys. I'm not seeing it. Is it under message requests? I get a lot of like stupid like people like trying to sell me shit as a streamer. They're always like, oh, hey, we see you're a streamer. We love your channel. Clearly have never watched my channel. And then they're just trying to sell me something. So I always am careful to look under requests. Can I DM you? Oh, someone's, I don't know what that, I'm not touching that. I don't know what that is. Okay, yeah, I think a lot of these are just fake or like, you know, like people trying to sell me shit. Check my notifications. Okay, I'll check my notifications. Thank you so much. Ah, there we go. I think I see you. Ah, okay, perfect. I got it. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, so let me put this up real quick. I will start it from the beginning and then I will go to big screen of it. All right, so I think this is what I have. Yeah, there we go. All right, so let's see here. So let me add it in. Always says that. Don't do that. All right. So share. There we go. All right. So here's the video that that my dad's chip sent me. So thank you so much for sending that. So here we go. Let's see what this is about.
I'm gonna. Riley's a father?
Oh.
Oh, they're here?
Yeah.
Wait, what? I know my dad hates Riley.
Oh, so they did a live stream with all of them there.
Like my dad said he contacted production.
Really? About that?
Yeah, Riley said he'd trip me or something crazy. Yeah.
What? Oh my gosh, I'm confused.
Yeah, literally on my beats.
Wow, I didn't either.
I've
Said I
been
would
finding out a
trip
lot of
you?
stuff because
Where'd the light go?
Oh, you know what I think they're talking about?
I'm gonna. Riley's a father?
Okay, hold on. I gotta see this again. I gotta see this again. Are you guys able to hear it?
Yeah.
Wait, what? I know my dad hates Riley. Like my dad said he contacted production.
Really? About that?
Yeah, Riley said he'd trip me or something crazy.
What? Riley said he would.
Oh my gosh, I'm
trip her?
confused.
That's wild. So if there's any truth there, that's pretty brutal. Like, I mean, I'm sure there is. I believe Ashley, but I'm just saying, like, that's, I don't want to, I don't want to throw out any allegations that I'm not privy to, obviously. But yikes, that is some messed up stuff. If that was actually what was said, did she say that her dad is in talks with production about it? And then her reacting, finding out that, yeah, he is a deadbeat dad is pretty wild. Let's see what some of the comments say on here. Thank you for sending that too. Also in the live is Ashley getting told all the people who talk shit about her and then denying it, and her being like, no, tell me what you said. She's so funny. I definitely want to check out more of these things. They shit talked her all season, invited her over to their little postseason clout fest, and now she's terrorizing them. Love it, love it. Oh, that's great. This is the way she was reading the comments, dragging Adrian, Zach, and Riley right in front of them. Icon. Oh, I absolutely love to see it. Could you guys not hear the audio on it? Okay, let's see here. Sent me the link. Thank you. Wow, I'm Canadian, and I had no idea there were live feeds for Big Brother Can. There were at one point, and then they took them away, and it was really stupid, and it really ruined the show. And that's why, honestly, I think that's why it got canceled. It's a big reason. Oh, you could hear. Okay, cool. Check your notification. He said he'd put stuff on the floor so she would trip. Seems pretty minor to me. Send Ashley has eyeballs. Yeah, I mean, okay, if it's minor, cool, but like, obviously I don't know what the whole allegations there were. Okay, I couldn't hear it. Okay, so let's see here. Bobby, your thoughts on Eric Stein on Rehab today. Eric said production had more hamster wheel evictions planned this season, but got canceled because of Rachel backlash. Wow. That doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me in the least bit that happened. But it also is very frustrating that they clearly thought this was a good idea. I almost guarantee you they probably weren't even going to do a double eviction. That their plan was probably originally just to do the hamster wheel multiple times. Like, I could really see that for sure. We could hear. Thank you, Amy. BB Cam was so good until they stopped having fits. Exactly. And that's when I kind of just tuned out because it wasn't the same show. We're now just seeing the edited version of what you're giving us. So, yeah, it was very frustrating. Laugh my ass off. Imagine what her dad would have done if she lived in the house with Evil Dick and Big Brother 8, man. Gotten soft. Exactly. Like I said, I don't know the full details on all of that. So we'll see. Maybe it wasn't anything too crazy, but who knows? No, I just couldn't hear a bit of what Ashley said. You sound fine. Okay, good. I was just making sure. But yeah, basically, if you didn't hear the video, they were explaining that about how Riley's a deadbeat dad. And then Ashley was going into saying like, oh, he had said that he was going to trip her at some point and that her dad was in talks with production about it. So I don't know. I watched the Eric Stein interview, but I honestly don't remember that part. I do have ADHD though. Hey, honestly, I haven't listened to it yet. So I'm going to have to definitely check that out now. If you guys have any other cast, videos here on Twitter and stuff or from live streams or what have you, send me the links. You guys can hit me up on Twitter or Instagram at GoodspeedBobby if you have any links that you want to share with everybody here. But I think that was really cool. That was a fun one to watch. So if you guys have more of those, definitely let me know. All right, let me just switch this out. And then I'm going to go to my slideshow presentation. That isn't much of a slideshow, so don't think it is, by the way. All right, so here we go. Let me big screen this a little bit. There we go. So North American winners all time. Very basic Canva situation here. Oh, you know what? Because I did this, it's not going to let me edit. So the whole reason I did this is so I can edit. So I have all the names. I know it's kind of hard for you guys to see on your end, and I apologize for that. I wish I could make it bigger for you. I can if I do this, but then I can't edit the names. So I will start here, and then we can kind of go from there. I wasn't able to put in an exact list, and these names are just all of the winners of Big Brother US, Big Brother Canada, Big Brother Over the Top, and Big Brother Celeb. And we're going to go through and do this together. Let me go back to your guys' comments real quick. I watched the whole thing. He did say they had to shift, but I can't remember exactly either. Interesting. The context it's weird. Eric. Okay, I got you. I thought you were talking about the Ashley video. I was like, I'm trying to figure out the context, but yes, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, of course they have to shift. At that point, you have to shift. Keanu and Rachel made the game, and it was too bad she was put out of the game of White Locust. The show went downhill ever since. Yeah, I mean, I agree. The show was just not the same show after that. I do think it had a very entertaining ending, and I was happy for that, but it was because of their own demise that they lucked into a palatable ending. That's for sure. Let's see here. My dad's Chip says, I tried to listen to Rahat BB 27 finale. It was terrible. The show were filled with never-do-wells and harping banshees. That show has fallen to a new low. I was listening to the Rahat BB 27 finale, and it's just a lot of the rinse and repeat. Not to say that here it's not the same thing, though. Like here, it's a lot of rinse and repeat. I repeat a lot of stuff I say, because honestly, like, it's hard to have a different take when you have an original thought or you have a thought of your own that maybe it does go with what other people are saying too. It's hard not to rinse and repeat. So I can't really bash them there. But it is a lot of agreement, right? A lot of agreement. And you can see my podcast yesterday where I talked about that more. I'm not going to get into that again. I do enjoy their content. I still listen to them all the time. I do get a lot of my info from them as well at times too. So like I said, no shade at them. I do think that the whole rinse and repeat thing is the same for me as well. Yes, Eric said they had planned more. So that is very interesting. What's going on, Robert? Good to see you again, my friend. Amy, I disagree. I enjoy Rahab. I'd rather this not be another bashing session on them, but that's just me. No, it's not going to be. It's not going to be. Absolutely not. I agree. That's why I said if you want to hear that take, that was all yesterday. So I agree. That's not what we're here to do. We're here to just enjoy the community and talk about Big Brother and Big Brother rankings. So that's what we're here for. I like the show towards the end. The Cheap Man's was interesting to watch. Yeah, that's the thing too. Is like I do think that for me the whole ending of the season, it was made good by the fact that, like, one, we had a palatable winner because of the fact that, like, it was an underdog story kind of, and then she took out the best player of the season, in my opinion. And then also the cheap man's of it all just really added to the drama, especially like behind the scenes and everything. So I feel like we luck boxed our way into a good finale, which had a lot of downfall towards the beginning of Jury because of the stupid twist. What's going on, my friend? Bartokomis, you know, I can't say that. What hasn't been said about BB27 by finale night? LOL. Exactly. That's the thing, is like everything's out there. Everything's been said. So it's hard not to rinse and repeat for sure. BB23 X was a lawyer. Ashley was a lawyer. Survivor 48 winner was a lawyer. Do you have to be a lawyer to win these shows? No, but apparently it means you obviously, one, I think if you get there, you have a really good chance because you can speak really well and you're well spoken enough to defend your case as to why you can win. And people that might not have that lawyer experience, I absolutely think that that could be to their detriment, right? So I think that it's definitely a thing where lawyers do have an advantage when it comes to being at the finale and being in front of the jury and having to speak their case. I definitely think that's a thing. But as far as, do you have to be, or like, is a lawyer always going to win? No. I mean, we've seen plenty of non-lawyers win. I just think that it just happens to be a trend over the last couple of years. Stein was great on Rehab today. I'm really excited to see. I love Eric Stein. I was happy to hear that yesterday, confirmed that what I was feeling was valid. For sure. All that fighting till 6 a.m. fried Vincent Morgan's brains instead of Ashley for the win in the final comps. Honestly, not false. I guarantee you that's partially why Morgan did so bad in that part 3 HOH. I really, really do think that probably played a factor in the whole situation, for sure. All right, so let me get to my list here. So, like I said, this is not an actual list right here. This is just all the names on here. And I apologize for the smaller screen. I will make the names bigger. I just, right now, for me to edit it, I have to do it. So, number 1 with the bullet for me, I guess it would be 43, because I think Morgan's on here twice on accident. So let me get rid of that. So, number 1 with the bullet for me, and it's not their own fault, and you guys can let me know how you guys feel. Sorry, it's so small. I have to scroll in to look at it. Where you at? All right, there it is. So number 1 is going to be season 1. And that's going to be Eddie McGee. And the problem is, and don't worry about the number, I'm going to fix the number right now. The problem is for Eddie is he didn't play a bad game by any means. It was just such a different game at that time that it's hard for me to consider it a true Big Brother win. Now, a lot of that can be said about a lot of different things, but because it was so different, I'm putting Eddie McGee as, the worst ranking, but it's really not the worst. It's worse as in the fact that it's more of an NA than anything, right? And that's because it wasn't the same show back then. Let's see here. I really like this season besides the White Locust stuff. Good, finally shows you how important jury management is. It's true. Like, the jury management is very much so an aspect that needs to be included and needs to be a part of your game when you're playing, because we saw what happened with Vince, and it absolutely tanked his game. Dan or Dr. Will, we'll get there. Big Sissy Banana says, plus Whiny was stressing Morgan out while Ashley relaxed and studied and worked on her speech. Exactly. He kept her up all night the night before the finale. And to me, it absolutely I think that played a huge factor in her lack of sleep. She said it herself that she was so exhausted. And I think that is a huge factor as well. All right. So next, my personal list. Where are you? There it is. So Next, I would probably put Adam Jasinski. Now, some of you might disagree with my take here, but my next worst winner would probably be Adam. Adam didn't really do much. He was just kind of like liked by everyone, right? And for me, he didn't do a ton in the game to justify his placement of first place, but that cast was so ridiculous that it kind of like made sense for the season that he won. So I can't see him as an actual viable winner in my opinion. Let's see here, 45. So we'll just do that. So if you guys disagree, let me know in the chat. But that's where I put Adam. I put Adam at number 42. Ooh, my mouse is being so weird today. All right, so let's see here. Amy says Morgan said in an interview that she didn't think the lack of sleep affected her, but I don't see how it couldn't have. She probably just doesn't realize it. I honestly think that maybe she's using it. She doesn't want to use that as a crutch, right? Because we saw her on the feeds the day of and saying like she was so exhausted from being up the night before, lack of sleep and everything. I definitely think that played a huge factor in her on that challenge, and I really do. And of course she's going to probably downplay. She also doesn't want to. I respect Morgan in the fact that I feel like she's saying that also because she doesn't want to downplay Ashley's win, right? Like she's being a good sport about it too, and being like, I don't want to take away from Ashley's win by saying, oh, the only reason I lost is because I had lack of sleep and wasn't fully aware. Like, you know, like I don't think she can use that as a, like she wants to use that as a crutch. That's just me personally, what I think she's referring to. Thank you for the comment, Amy. Robert says Morgan's a gamer. She should be used to lack of sleep. Well, no, that's 100% true. Yeah, she should be used to lack of sleep. And same with Bartacomas says gamers sleep till 3 p.m. That's the big issue is even though like I personally, I go to bed at 3 a.m. all the time. Like I'm used to being up late and then early mornings. But if your body's not used to having to be up like early, like say like, I don't know, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning after going to bed at 3 in the morning, it could definitely play a toll on you. Now I've been doing that for years because I have a kiddo. So it's like if I get home late and then I can't go to bed right away and I go to bed by like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. If I have to be up at 8 a.m., 7 a.m. to take care of my kid, I'm doing it. Like, guess what? I'll just suck it up and get it done. So that 100%, I think that if you're not used to that, that could really play a toll on your mindset. B. Nichols says, will we ever see a backstabbing type of game win Big Brother again? Well, Vince certainly didn't play the type of game very well. I fear we lost the plot. Ashley was a floater and bottom tier winner. I would say, and I had used the term floater, and someone corrected me, and I think it's more appropriate. I definitely think she was more of a coaster than a floater because the actual definition of floater is like going between different alliances, and she stayed true to pretty much her alliances the whole time, but she did also make sure she was good with other people when they were leaving the house. I think that there is a safe way to play a backstabbing game. The problem is you have to make sure that people feel like you backstabbed them or you took them out in a way of game respects game. Where when Vinny did it, it didn't feel like game respects game. It felt like a personal attack or just personal betrayal, right? Like he did things unnecessarily. So I don't think that a backstabbing game is dead in the game of Big Brother. I definitely think it's a lot harder nowadays, especially with, I feel like people are more sensitive to things than they used to be. But I do think that it's possible to play a backstabbing game or at least a cutthroat game and win the game as long as people respect the moves that you made. I was going to send you a link on Twitter, but I have to be verified and I'm not paying for that. Oh, you have to be well, here, just let me see here. Can you just copy and paste the URL and just put it in here? Are you able to do that? Just put it in the comments and then I can just click on it from here. Because if that's the case, I think you should be able to do that. Like just click on the post and then click the URL. Yeah, try that. I'm not sure if it'll work, but if it does, that'd be great. So getting back to the rankings over here, I want your guys' opinion because this is honestly like this might be. I know people will agree with me, but I also think it might be a hot take for some people. Well, it's hard, right? Because ranking like Big Brother over the top or Big Brother celeb against Big Brother US proper. Only mods can post links on YouTube. Oh, okay, my bad. I wasn't aware of that. Amy, do this then. Copy the URL and send that to me on Instagram or Twitter. I see it on my phone, but I don't see it on my TV. I don't see it on here either. So I'm wondering, can you copy the URL and send it to me on Instagram or on Twitter? If so, yeah, let me know. Trevor, that's where you have to be verified. I'll find you on Instagram. Yeah, it's at GoodsbyBobby on Instagram as well. All right, so going back over here, like I said, it's hard. It's hard to rank these winners because there's just different game, right? But I'm gonna probably put next. I'm gonna put Marissa, and Marissa didn't play a bad game by any means, but I do feel like she kind of lucked out by getting to the end because of bigger targets in front of her, right? And I mean, it's been a while since I've seen this season, but from my memory, I wasn't like thrilled that she was the winner of BB Celeb. So, as much as I don't think it's necessarily a huge knock on her, I have to knock her a little bit because I do feel like she kind of got to the benefit of other people not being there. Okay. All right. You can just tweet it at him, Amy. So yeah, you can tweet it at me too. Yeah, that's a good point. Sorry about that. I didn't think about that. Are you ranking Adam because of his history after the show and BB9 is considered a bad season, which I totally disagree, by the way. I actually don't hate BB9 as a season. You sent it on Instagram. Great. I'll pull that up next. I don't hate him as a winner. I don't hate the Big Brother season 9 season as a whole. I thought it was trashy, but I thought it was at least like good trashy. I just think for him as a winner, I was just kind of like, whatever, like he didn't really do much to move the needle in the game. His biggest things are when him and what was her name? Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on her name? The older lady in the cast. They were like paired up together to be a couple, and she just hated it. I absolutely think like that was his biggest moments. But as far as like actual gameplay, I don't think he was a very good game player. I think he just kind of stuck around, and then people just voted for him to win because they liked him more. Sheila, thank you. Sorry, could not. I was like Sharon. What was it? It was Sheila. Oh, Sheila, I miss Sheila. Get Sheila back on Big Brother. Sheila was entertainment. All right, so let me see what you sent me on Instagram real quick. I will pull that up. Messages. Request. Amy. Thank you, Amy. I got it right here. So I will pull that up next. Copy. And I will accept you. And followed you back. Thank you for sharing that with me. So let's see here. Let's pull it up. All right. So let me switch cameras real quick. We'll come back to the rankings here in a second, but let's see what she sent me. There we go. All right. So here we go.
I was thinking this whole time, like you stay up very late, and he was like having a total breakdown after losing the second part of that HOH. And you're constantly reassuring him. And I was thinking in my head, like, did you sleep enough? Were you mentally prepared to go into this? Because Ashley, meanwhile, is sitting in the backyard prepping her final speech for like 2 days.
Mhm.
So did you feel prepared going into it as much as you could have?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I think that is the hardest part is like, I'm a very like empathetic, compassionate person. And it was hard to see him crash because I'm very similar. Like I kept my composure much more like than he did, and because I didn't want people to feel like I was as emotional as I am.
Yeah.
You know, I went to the diary room and cried a lot. Like when Ashley said that she didn't cry, I was like, you didn't cry this whole season, girl? What? Like I was a mess. You know. But
And that's the thing too, is I feel like that was the thing, was Vince was just constantly in her room, constantly like trying to get in her ear and like convince her why he should, or she should take him to the final two. That it was just an all night thing. It was all night, like going back and forth, and it was just, it definitely can mess with your psyche when that's just constantly on your mind and you're not able to prepare for the competitions or final speech.
Prepared as I could be, you know, like it's hard because you really don't know what competitions you're going to get. And I remember part of me in the HOH part 1, I was like, when she dropped, I was like, I should drop, because Vince is an endurance comp beast, and the second one is always a physical comp, and I can beat Ashley in that, and then I would just have to face Vince in the finals. But I also wanted to prove that I can be a all-round player. I mean, the one comp I didn't win was an endurance comp. So I chose to build my own resume than to, you know, give it to Vince and potentially win the second. You know, I played the game that I needed to play. But I do think I was as rested as possible. I mean, I woke up in a great mood. I felt great. I had a great prayer that morning. And I just knew that whoever was meant to win that competition was going to win. So I feel like even if I would have gotten 24 hours more of sleep or studied for days and on end, like I still feel like she was going to win that competition because she was
your housemate.
All right. So yeah, that was interesting because she's definitely saying there that, you know, the sleep wasn't a factor, that she felt like she was well rested. But I really do think that it was a factor. I mean, we saw it play out throughout the day that she was constantly saying how tired she was. And I do think there's an aspect of it that she doesn't want to downplay Ashley's win. And I said that before. I think there's partially that in play as well. But yeah, thank you for sending me that. And let's see here.
We saw you get really close with Morgan.
This Dalton Ross interview.
The caressing, we saw the long hugging. It became a storyline on the show. Your housemates were talking about it. Keanu's talking about Cheating Island. I know you talked about this in the diary room a little bit, Vince, but how concerned were you about how your girlfriend Kelsey was going to view all that stuff?
I mean, Kelsey is she's the most secure person in the world. We know our relationship. We know the boundaries we set. So I'm not worried about any of that. It's just, it's the Big Brother house. And, you know, I'm not worried about that aspect when it comes to my relationship.
Oh,
I mean, you looked a little worried when you didn't get the video. So I was like, have you gotten any sort of indication yet from anyone in terms of her reaction to all that? Or I know
the at-home video?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't gotten my phone yet. So I mean, all I've said is hi to my parents. So I'm not super worried about it. Yeah, I mean.
Oh, he's worried.
Get back to the real world.
Oh. Oh, that was so good. I love Dalton Ross. Go check out Dalton Ross's stuff that he does. And also, I'm not sure who the other interviewer was before that, but there was great questioning when he was talking to Morgan. So shout out to both those guys for their work and their interviews. Great stuff. He's either lying or he really doesn't have his phone, and the Dalton Ross interview came before that. And oh boy, is he in for a world of hurt. If that didn't make, you know, we all watch Vince all season, right? Right there, he's definitely freaking out. If any of that's true, right? If he's like thinking that if he doesn't actually have his phone, which it's hard to believe, he's off the show now. Why would he? And it's been probably the next day. Was that the same day as the finale, or was that the next day? Usually they're the next day. So if that's the case, how does he not have his phone back yet? But maybe it was the same day because he is wearing the same outfit, but I wouldn't put it past Vince for wearing the same outfit multiple days in a row. What's up, Mary? Oh, and let's see here. Juan says, okay, I feel like a lot of people just rank winners and house guests lower because they didn't like the season and or the house guests. What are we doing tonight, today? We're going to be going over the winners, all-time winners rankings. Also, Vanessa also needed to let Liz win. Yeah, the parallels are too eerie. I can't stand it when they say what was going to happen was going to happen as if it was predestined and it didn't matter what they did in the game. Ava said that and it drove me crazy. Also, I agree. I think that it's when they say that, it's nothing's predestined. Like let's be real. Like you did what you did to get into the game or to win the game or to lose the game. Yeah, Mary. People also rank winners higher in the echo chamber. Loves them. Look at Taylor, another bottom tier winner in my opinion. She's gone week 1 if Paloma doesn't self evict. Honestly, not false. Not false. He's so obviously lying. I mean, did he have his phone? Did he not? I'm very interested to see when this interview took place, because if it's the next day, there's no way he didn't have his phone. Gold Derby was the first one. Okay, so shout out to Gold Derby and shout out to Dalton Ross. I want to make sure they get their credits. Great stuff there. And thank you for sending me that, Amy. For God's sake, burn the beanie. That's true. Yeah, those interviews were before they got their phone. Okay, so if that's the case, maybe he doesn't know, but then we know Vince, and Vince is probably freaking the hell out right there, right? Like, we saw Vince just freak out about the littlest things. He's probably trying to play it cool right there on the camera, but just saying, like, he's freaking out on the inside because he thinks that everything's completely fine. Keanu didn't have his. Okay, so then it was the night of the finale. Good to know. Vince is gaslighting us. He threw away his relationship. Kelsey get a restraining order on Vince. I mean, I would love to see the aftermath, like today or yesterday, and see exactly what went down once he got his phone back and once he was able to try to talk to her, or if she even answered it. He really didn't have his phone yet. I just watched a live with Chelsea and Taylor. Chelsea said she didn't get her phone until 1 the next day. So weird. So weird that they have to wait so long. Maybe it's to protect them. Who knows? Everything can be a reason to downplay a winner's game. The cast, the twist, the 70 days versus 100 days. Exactly. There's a lot of factors. I'm just doing my personal opinions, and I want you guys to have a mixture of your opinions in here as well. So thank you again for that video, Amy. If you guys have any more like people posting stuff on their own Twitter accounts and stuff, please send that to me. Let me know. Let me go back to the rankings page. All right. Some people can argue that Dan only does good in very white casts. With more diversity, he would not have won. I don't know. I think Dan's just a pretty good all-around player. Like, I think that now he probably couldn't do well because he's got such a big name and he's such a big target. But I mean, we saw people of color on his seasons before and he did really well. Yes, it wasn't what the casting is nowadays for sure. Like, it wasn't, they didn't have the initiative for diversity like they do now, which they still could be better about. But I think that he still would do well regardless of race in the season. Let's see here. B Nickel. Oh, Tommy, your comments aren't posting. Let me go to the video over here and I will pull that up, because sometimes it does that. Sometimes it doesn't show me all the comments, but now I see your comment on here. So let me see. Let me see the chat. Yeah, it doesn't show you on here. Wait. Maybe it does. No, now I don't see anything. I finally saw the one where you said, why are my comments not posting? But now I see it. So whatever you're doing, do that. I am by no means a Vince fan, but the way these house guests seem to be kicking him while he's down, especially Ashley, is a bit much for me. Let the man breathe. I mean, the game is game. Like, let the game be what it is. But I think once these people get out of the house, right? Like, let's be real. Once these people get out of the house, they then can see social media, and then they're able to see other people's opinions of things and other people's opinions on the cast. And then it might wash their actual feelings towards those people, right? So the thing is, too, a lot of these people are now becoming privy to what these people said about them in the house as well. So I think that while I agree that maybe they shouldn't just take the general audience's takes completely, they should also now have an understanding of how these people really were, and then also be able to learn what these people were actually saying about them, and then garner a true opinion on the matter. And that's why, like, if you're in the house, it's okay to talk about someone's gameplay and stuff, but don't talk about people and like just don't be a bully, right? Don't be a bully and make fun of people about what they do or how they look or whatever, And we're all guilty of that. I'm guilty of that myself at times. We all are guilty of saying things that maybe we shouldn't, right? But when you have a spotlight on you, it's definitely just not a good look, especially when these people are living in the house with you. And these people are people that you're around 24/7. All this stuff is going to eventually come out. So you're in under such a spotlight. You have to be careful because what you say is going to come back to haunt you, especially on this show. Julie Chen BB finale outfit was wonderful. Black pantsuit and a long tail. I mean, Julie always looks great. I did like her finale outfit. Why are my comments not posting? Like I said, they're posting now, so you're good now. That seems ridiculous about Dan. How would we know? Like, exactly. That's what I'm saying too. It's like, I mean, I think he would do well against anyone. I don't think it's just an all white cast. I very much so disagree with that, or like majority white cast. I think he just plays well because he's a good Big Brother player. I don't care what your color is. That's not a determining factor as to whether you're a good player or not, or a good winner. I think that's a little ridiculous. Hey, all. Hey, what's up going on, Chris? Good to see you. Thank you for joining, my friend. Let's see here. Vince shit talked to Ashley for a month straight, dude. Oh, he definitely did. I don't disagree with you. I definitely think that what he said, like I said, he's under a spotlight. So now all of that stuff is coming, is reigning true. I also don't think you should just, and I'm not saying Ashley's situation in general, right? I'm not saying just Ashley's situation with Vince. I think that a lot of stuff Vince said was nasty and wrong, and he just continuously bashed her. So that's fine. I'm saying if you're a house guest in the game, don't just immediately go to what people are saying on Twitter, because not all of it is true, right? Not all of it is false either. You have to have your own narrative, and then maybe people close to you what the actual narrative is. I feel like to trust like a Twitter chat or a chat room on when you're going live on stream on stuff, like there's like if you're one of those people that was on the cast, I don't think you'd immediately believe that. I think you'd have to talk to the people that are close to you and get what really happened. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not saying her situation was false. It's just an example. People don't send me letters. I was pointing everything. Can we a reason to downplay a winner's game? I can make arguments against any winner. No, hey, to each your own. If you can absolutely point to things by all the winners and have reasons to love or hate every single winner that's played the game, for sure. Got to talk to Keanu a bit. He's super nice. How the heck did you talk to Keanu? How did that happen? Also, you need to get him on the podcast. Please. Tommy, if you have an in with Keanu, tell him we want him on the live stream, please. We'd love that. Well, to be fair, Ashley found out a lot of the stuff he said about her that she was clueless about. Exactly. And that's totally valid. Never stop podcasting about this season. It's got to come to an end at some point, right? It's got to come. I even came in here to do like the winners rankings, and like here we are just talking about the season still, which I get it. It's what people want to talk about. So if that's what we want to talk about, well, that's what we'll talk about for sure. Since we're not talking about this right now, let me just pull this back up. I was mentioning another social media app and it was blocking it. Oh, interesting. Oh, that was weird. Maybe the algorithm. Chris says, Ashley has every right to be unhappy with Vince. He was talking about her all season, saying she didn't deserve to be there over and over. He would insult her to anyone he could. No, and like I said, I think the Ashley reason is absolutely valid. But I'm just talking about house guests in general, guys. I'm not speaking on directly on the Ashley situation. And it should be just, you should, how do I say this? I worry that social media kind of can be a cesspot at times, where I worry that people get too many outside influences from people that maybe are doing it to be vindictive. So that's why I think you should always listen to like your family and friends who know the actual ins and outs of what was being said about you, rather than social media. That's what I'm trying to say. But I do think there's an aspect of social media that also will put people in their place. And it's also true as at times, but it's hard to decipher what is true and what is not with social media. Somewhere there's a clip where Ashley is listening to a compilation. I got it. Why can't I say that? whatever, of Vinny talking about how she doesn't deserve to be there, etc. I imagine it's hard to react to that. Yeah, I mean, if there's one out there, I'll try to find it and we'll try to put that on here. Ava turned for the worse. Ava turned for the worse for a while throughout the season. Like at post like, did anyone have a bigger downfall in front of the community from where Ava was, say, week 2 or week 3 to after Rachel went out, where she landed? It's crazy. It's iconic that Vince targeted, or excuse me, ironic that Vince targeted Ashley week 1, talked bad on her game all game, saying she was getting dragged along and didn't want to win for her to then destroy him at the end. Karma at its finest. We said that here on the channel. It is absolute karma. Didn't respect her game. Thought he could beat her in the end. Could have had her out week 1. Targeted her early. And then it all fell apart. It's very much so karma. That 100% true. DBYT can't tell us because the app is blocked in the comments. LOL. Interesting. I'm not sure why. DBYT. Interesting. Bobby doesn't count Parvati wins because that cast is only 14 so far. So that means that you think a bigger cast is a superior win because Ashley won in a 17 people cast. That's the biggest and nobody was removed. So the reason why, well, we already said it here in the chat, so sorry for spoilers in here, but the reason why I don't count it as a second win was a lot of factors. And I know a lot of people disagree with me, and that's fine. That's fine. But like my major factors were, 1, it was only 12 days. And it was much so like it was like a smaller cast. It wasn't the best in the world. We didn't even have the people that were the best in the world. Not just okay, that doesn't have to include like the fact that it's a second win. So I digress on that one. That was more just like a personal feeling towards it. So 1, it wasn't even casting gender wise, male to female. It wasn't. It was a 12-day season. They got a lot of amenities day 1, and it felt like more like of a not completely like reindeer games, but it felt like a reindeer games type of thing. I respect it. I think she played great. I think it was a great game. I had a lot of fun watching it. I just don't put it in the same regard as a Survivor proper win. And that's just me personally, how I feel. And I know a lot of you disagree with me, and that's fine. Bobby, I hate politics, but the country has fallen so fast so far, and it's okay to be 34-year-old jobless man in America. Where's the shame? I don't disagree with you there, but like that's just the day and age we live in. Like at the same time, it's like maybe he just hasn't found his place in life, and I'm not going to knock him for being jobless. I mean, obviously, I couldn't imagine being jobless and living with my parents at 34 years old, but I can't knock him for that's the path he chose in life. There's a lot of people that choose a lot of different paths than me in life, and that's fine. But you know, to each their own at the same time. Ashley just won $750K because 2 people completely choked in the final HOH. Showed some grace. Yeah, exactly. Like she took advantage of the situation that was presented to her. Like, you can't deny Ashley the win because of how it all played out. She did do well in that, you know, the last part HOH competition. Now she definitely got lucky that Vince choked, but like she definitely won that part 3 HOH, and she did it in dominating fashion. And Morgan saying it herself that like she was well rested. She just got the things wrong, like the answers wrong, and she just second guessed herself and maybe panicked. So, and then she took out the best player of the season. That was hands down going to probably win, in my opinion. So yeah, I don't knock her game by any means. I don't think it's a top tier win. I put it bottom 3rd, but I don't see it as a like it was still a respectable win. Ava fell hard. She was so loved at first. Apparently, she didn't even go to the after party with everyone. I believe that. She fell hard, man. She fell hard just by her own accord too. Come on, you can't compare Australia vs. the World as a real season or win. Thank you. There is someone out there that agrees with me, because a lot of people in the chats do not agree with me and consider it a second win. Like, I'm sorry, do you put Parvati in the same light as you do Tony and Sandra? No, there's no way. I'm sorry. I can't consider that a true second win to me. And if you disagree, that's fine. Sorry, my mic's a little off. All right. Australia v. the World was 16 days made. Still short, though. I agree. Oh, sorry. I thought it was 12. So it was 16. Still short. And then this one saying it was 14 people, 16 days. Regardless, it wasn't just the days factor. Yes, that was a factor for me, but there was a lot of other factors as well. If Vince was final HOH and takes out Morgan, what do you think the jury would vote breakdown would have been? I still think Ashley. I still think Ashley would have won because I think, and we said a bitter jury. I do think it was a semi-bitter jury, but it wasn't completely bitter because Ashley did the right moves. But if that's the case, if that scenario where Vince wins and takes out Morgan and then doesn't win, I think you consider it a very bitter jury because it's hard, right? Like, I still think Vince could win in that scenario. I don't think so because I think he's pissed off enough people along the way. But I think, I honestly think that Ashley would win in that scenario. I think maybe Vince gets Lauren's vote and Morgan's vote because maybe Morgan respects it, but maybe she doesn't. I don't know. It's tough. It's really tough, right? We're playing devil's advocate. I heard Rahab saying that they thought that even if Ashley took Morgan to the final two, that, or even Morgan took Ashley to the final two, if she won part 3, they still thought that Ashley was going to win that season, which I don't think I can get on board with that. I think that Morgan would have won unanimously, or at least like by 3 votes. I don't see a world where Morgan loses to Ashley if Morgan takes Ashley to the end. I posted a picture of me intensively watching Keanu, and he responded to it and sent me one more message thanking me and saying the support was overwhelming and he had no idea he was this loved. That's awesome. Well, if you can, send him a message and say, hey, we have a friend that podcasts about the season all season long and would love to have you on. I've been giving it a couple days before I reached out to Rachel because I want her to decompress. I don't want her to, like, I'm sure she's getting bombarded by people being like, oh, we love you. Like, I'm so, like, how did everything go? Like, I'm sure she's getting a lot of friends and acquaintances reaching out to her. So I don't want to bombard her with anything. But I do, hopefully, maybe at the end of the week or maybe next week, I'll reach out, just tell her how proud of her I am. And then, reach out and say, hey, if you have time in the future, I would love to talk to you more about the season. And we'll see what she says. But like I said, I don't want to bombard her right away. But hopefully we can get some of these people on here to talk. Damn, because the spoiler queen of the chat, this is the second time I do it. Sorry. It's all good. It's all good. I just know there's people in the past that hadn't watched it yet. So I always feel bad about it. But it has been quite like a couple weeks since that aired. So it's kind of safe to say if you haven't watched it, you're just behind. But I get why people don't like it too. Vince will never get to bang Morgan, and he threw away his relationship with a hotter girl. And honestly, though, I'm worried for Vince, man. Like, a reality trip is coming his way, and if it hasn't already, and I do feel bad for him to an extent. He definitely was self-caused a lot of it, but like to an extent, I feel bad as a human, like that he's probably going to have a lot of negative publicity. Like I said, guys, it not to say it wasn't deserved, but like have some grace. Like it's a human being too, They removed Ashley's number 1, so I'd count it as a win. Well, yeah. No, that's definitely the case for sure. I agree. What's up, Humane? Good to see you, my friend. I think it just seems like Vince isn't out trying to find a job or get a side gig. I mean, I work 2 jobs. One I love, but I don't make enough money, so I also DoorDash. I feel you because like maybe he's in a financial position with his family. Maybe they're well off where he doesn't have to work, so that's fine. But like for me, right? I've been on my own since I was 18. When I decided I wanted to leave to go to college and do it on my own, like that was it. Like, here you go, good luck. And I love my parents for that because I think that was the best thing that ever happened to me. Now, if anything ever happened and I need to go home for any means, like my family needed a place to stay or something, like they would open their doors with open arms. They would love that. because they're always here to help us out. But like, there's a self-dependence that I feel like is lacking with some of the younger generation. And I just don't see how people couldn't be more self-dependent, like it's just weird to me. Like there's people like in their 30s that don't realize to this day that like you have to go out and buy toilet paper, right? Like they know it's a thing, but they never had to do it, so they don't think about it, right? But when you're on your own, it's like, okay, yeah, I don't have dish soap, I gotta go get dish soap, like you got to do it yourself. So it's just wild to me that there's people around my age that don't understand that. And I think like for me too, like I work 2 jobs. Like I work this podcasting and producing and live streaming and trying to make this, like, this is the job I love. This is what I would love to do for the rest of my life, is be able to do this kind of work. Now it's very hard. It's very hard unless you're the top 1%. It's very, very hard to make money doing this, or like a sustainable income. So hopefully one day I'm able to get sponsorship or like, what is it called? Endorsement deals and stuff. If this channel continues to grow. But right now I'm just doing this, for the love of it. And then, if I get a super chat, then that helps too, because that helps me realize like this is something that can happen. But then I have my real job, and my real job, it's not my favorite job in the world. Bartending is not what I want to do forever, but that pays the bills. So it's like, it's interesting, right? I just can't see how other people don't have that mindset at the same age essentially as me. Change the title to season 27 wrap up. Honestly, I'm probably going to have to change the season to 27 wrap up, because we are not talking about winners rankings at all. So I'll probably switch that after this, when I go off air. I'll have to redo the thumbnail. I don't even include New Era in the same category as the original Survivor. I mean, some people don't, because it does feel like a different game, even though it is a real game. I still include it as the same version, but I do think there's something special about the original 30, first 40 seasons of Survivor for sure. I do semi-agree with that argument. A bigger cast is more impressive win. Exactly. Like that's where realistically kind of how I feel about it. And not even that has to be like a way bigger cast. It's just like, I feel like there was a lot, they kind of were coddled, and not to say it probably wasn't difficult, because you are playing against people that are a tougher talent opposed to like newbies, but in fact, it was shorter days. They got all these amenities on the very first day that it just didn't feel like true Survivor to me, but that's just my opinion. Ashley lost her 2 closest allies because of the worst twist of all time. So I don't blame her for needing to win the final HOH. Exactly. Like, she did what she had to do, and we can't knock her for it. She did exactly what she had to do to win, and her win is respectable because I feel like she took out the best player, and she absolutely deserved it. And guys, we have 44 people here in the live stream. You guys are absolutely crushing it. Thank you again so much. Will has a crush on Ashley. I just think he sees her as more of like a daughter figure, to be honest with you. Like he sees her as one of his kids. I don't think he has a crush. Wherever we put Steve, we put Ashley. Ooh, that's tough. That's tough, because I get why you would say that, and I do think it's very similar game for sure. I still think I put Steve slightly above Ashley, because, and my rationale is, I think Vanessa was a much, much stronger player than Morgan. Not to say Morgan wasn't a strong player, but I think I put Vanessa way above Morgan, and he was able to garner Vanessa's trust enough to where she thought he would never take her out. And then he took her out because he knew it was the only way he could win the game, and that he had to make that big move to solidify him as the winner. And it's very, very similar, but I think because Vanessa was a stronger player, and I do think Steve played a longer, better game, and his back was against the wall at the beginning too. I think that, and a lot of that's also on production too, for not showing us Ashley more as well. So I don't know. Production took out the best player of the season. I don't disagree. I think Morgan became the best player, but I do think Rachel was the best player up until when she was out. I don't disagree with you about the Parv win. I did like how they were immediately gaming since it was such a quick season. I liked it, guys. Like I do. I liked the season. Like I thought it was a fun season. I thought it was cool. It was different, but it was similar to Reindeer games where I thought it was cool. It was fun. It was different, but it's not the same game. And no one ever says Reindeer games is the same game, but there are people trying to say that Australia v. the World is the same game as regular Survivor. And I just don't see it. I don't see it that way. Bigger cast is absolutely more impressive. You beat more people, although I class this season as a normal size BB season because Rachel was removed. I think that this is a normal season, but I also think that, I mean, yeah, this season's definitely normal. I think that's more so to do with like the Survivor context, but and I obviously this is the same win as a normal win. I do hate though that the way Rachel was removed, and I'm glad that they didn't end up going through with more of the stupid hamster wheels. Keanu said he would have voted for whoever took out Morgan, and I think that's valid. That's what I say, guys. Like I think that there was a lot of respect for who's the one that takes the shot against Morgan. That's why I disagree when they went on Rehab when they said that they thought Morgan would lose to Ashley, even if Morgan took Ashley to the final two. I don't think so. I think they knew that Morgan was the best player, was playing the best game, and probably deserved the win. Like she won all kinds of stuff. Ashley didn't win anything all year, except for one veto, I believe, and until that final HOH. So I absolutely think taking out Morgan was the big shot that really solidified her win. And I still think that if Vince would have taken her to the end, it would have been close. If he would have taken out Morgan and taken Ashley to the end, I still think it would have been close because of the vitriol for Vince. But I think if Morgan takes out Vince and drags Ashley to the final two, I think Morgan wins going away. I think it's on Kelly who wins if that happened. Lauren, Morgan, Keanu would vote for Vince. Lauren, Morgan, Keanu, yes, I agree. I don't think Kelly votes for Vince there. I don't think Kelly votes for Vince. I think the rest of the votes could go for Ashley. It's close though. It depends on what people respect more, right? Do you hate Vince enough to not vote for him? Or do you respect his game because he took out Morgan, the biggest player and the person that he was with all season, and he knew that was the right move? And that goes for more than your vitriol for Vince, right? It's tough. I would have loved for them to ask that too. What's up, Jason? How you doing? Thank you so much for joining the chat. Vince only beats Kelly or Lauren. He loses to everyone else in the jury phase. It's honestly not a bad take. It's not a bad take because I think those are the two that he definitely had the best chance again. When he got rid of Lauren, his game was basically done. Essentially getting rid of Kelly and Lauren back to back in that double eviction, that's when I knew his game was tanked. Because not only did he was like the one it was in his hands and he let them both down. And Kelly was already kind of over Vince, but like he could have beat Kelly. So you're taking out a person that you have a good chance against, while also Lauren, who's still wanting to work with you, and you could probably beat. I really think they overestimated the fact that Lauren hadn't been up on the block all season. I really think they put too much weight into that when I don't think it was necessarily as big of a factor as necessarily like it should have been. Juan says, Bobby, Ashley had Will, Rachel, and Kelly as solid votes. She just needed one more. Yeah, and I think she probably would have got Ava. I think she would have got Ava because I think she did enough work with Ava right before Ava went home. What's going on, When in Rome? He probably would have gotten Lauren and Keanu, but he answered his questions badly. That's another point. That's another great point. When in Rome is his jury answering questions. I rewatched it. They were bad. And he stumbled so much. The one point where he said, "Oh, I forgot the question. Can you repeat that?" was awful. When he was answering one of his questions and Kelly started to laugh and Will had to hit her with the card. Like a lot of it was like, it was just not good. His final speech as to why he should win the game, I didn't hate. But as far as that, yeah, no, it was bad. Chris said Morgan would have won 100%. I think so too. I think Morgan wins going away against anybody. 1,000%. Whoa, I am way down on the comments. Okay, so let me catch up here. Ashley, again, this has turned into not rankings anymore, people. So I'm sorry if you're here for the rankings, because I think this is going to just have to be another event session or a talk session about the season as a whole. Ashley against Morgan always has Rachel, Will, and Ava. We just need one more, and Morgan's speech was horrible. But here's the thing, like, we just really don't know how it played out. I was really mad that Julie didn't ask what would happen if it was Morgan versus Ashley. I really wish she would have asked the jury that. I know there probably would have been more to it, maybe explaining their games and whatnot. And Ashley had such an impressive final speech and just answering the jury questions that maybe that would have swayed them even without hearing Morgan's side. But I do wish we would have had that left up to, like, you know, let us see what the votes would have been. I think it would depend on Morgan's speech. That's exactly what I just said. I agree with you. If she would have beat Ashley, so we'll really never know. Exactly. Like, that's the thing, is we'll never know. And I think it's apples and oranges if they would have asked the cast, hey, raise your hand, because Ashley did do such an impressive job there at the end. But I still think that I really think Morgan would have won. I think that them voting Ashley the way they did. What's up, Aguaditas? What's up, Will? I think that them voting Ashley the way they did, they may have done the same against Morgan. They didn't value competitors. They figured a way to justify voting for Ashley. So, and I understand where you're coming from with that argument. And I know that they didn't value, obviously, Vince's all his HOHs and veto wins and what have you. But Vince did so much to piss off the jury along the way that it was kind of justifiable, no? Was it not justifiable in the fact that you have to have good jury management and you have to be able to articulate once you're in that position of answering the questions as to why you should win? I just feel like he completely dropped the ball with the social game and his social relationships with people, and came off very whiny and woe is me, and oh my gosh, like, this is like, made it all about himself. And then when he answered the questions in the jury segment, it was just awful. But I appreciate the comment. Robert says, in HOH part 2, they both choked until Ashley had the smarts to reread the instructions. Vince didn't. Exactly. They both choked. And then Vince had way more time to read the card again and just didn't do it. Have you seen the clip of Will stumbling around the pool drunk? No, I have not. Not. So I'll have to check that out. Love that for Will. I worked 3 jobs. First job, test proctor. Second job, IT help desk. Third job, handyman for a huge apartment building. God bless you. Because, you know, like, that's the thing, is some of us, we'd have to work our asses off just to get what we want, right? I'll buy your OnlyFans. Yeah, sure you will. No one wants my OnlyFans. I will put that out there right now. No one wants my OnlyFans. That's 1,000% a thing. Maybe if I did like a at some point, not now, but if I did a cameo or something, maybe people would be interested in that. Definitely not OnlyFans. How late am I? Well, we didn't really get into the rankings because everyone wanted to talk Big Brother 27 still. So we're talking Big Brother 27 instead. We've even talked some Australian Survivor. So you're not that late. Survivor, just find them different games. All wins for sure, but different. Yeah, exactly. I think so too. I also don't add new era. The game is not even the same on Survivor. I still think of it as the same game because it is still Survivor proper, but yeah. Have you started the rankings? I started it. I got like 3 in, and then everyone wanted to talk about this. So we're like, if this is what you guys want to talk about, we'll talk about this instead. So maybe I'll save it for an off-season podcast. I honestly, I could do better with how I set it up anyways, because I was kind of running low on time. So maybe we'll just push that back. I'm going to have to redo the thumbnail because we have not gotten to rankings really at all. As long as you don't get voted out, you are a deserving winner. And that's, and a lot of people look at it that way too. They always think, you know, the best player of the season is the one who won. Even though some would disagree, there was other people that played, like myself, I would disagree that there were better people on the season. But I do think that, I do think Morgan was possibly the best player. Rachel was one of the best players. But I do think, and I can even say Vince was one of the best players because of competitions, not necessarily social. But I do think Ashley played the best game to win, right? She did what she had to win, but I think that there were better players. Is Ashley's win comparable to Josh? No, I think her game is much better than Josh. I think Josh literally was willing to take Paul all the way to the end. And honestly, I think he was like cool either way if he lost or won to Paul, even though he wanted to win. Josh, he was just, everyone thought he was such a goat, but it ended up being that Paul was such a goat because he played so many people that they gave it to like the second best goat, right? So I don't think Ashley's compared to a goat like Josh at all. 44 people in here, but only 8 likes. Hit that like button for Bobby. Thank you so much, Amy. Appreciate you. Yeah, guys, if you can, hit that like button. It helps me out a lot with the algorithm. Hit the bell notification to be notified when I go live. Twitch.tv/Bobby Goodsby. If you want to watch me on Twitch, it's right down here at the bottom. And then social media at Goodsby Bobby on X/Twitter and Instagram. Appreciate you, Amy, for the shout out. I am very behind. Win final HOH, cut your closest ally. That's honestly a great strategy. If your closest ally is definitely going to be the one that can beat you, or your games are looked at too similarly. I definitely agree with that. Keanu leaving with more money than Morgan makes me very happy. I think it makes a lot of people happy, to be honest with you. I love Keanu so much. And I know he's not for everyone, but he is for me. Hot take. Ashley had a similar game to Enzo. Well, like head behind a shield, attach yourself to an alliance, no blood on hands. That is a hot take. There are similarities, but Enzo would have never taken the shot at Cody, right? Like, I still feel like Enzo would not take the shot. And I still think Enzo against Hayden, he still thinks he has a good shot against Hayden. I think that Enzo just constantly likes the bro alliance and wants to see that play out. But in multiple circumstances, I think Enzo loses to anybody anytime he goes up there, right? Any of the final 3, I think both situations he loses. So, like, I don't think Enzo is completely like Ashley. I do see similarities in the fact that they were able to coast and hide behind an alliance and didn't necessarily have to win anything. But at a certain point, like, you have to take a shot that's a big shot. You have to win something. Enzo never could, and Ashley did at the end. Season 25 had 17 with Sari. They had Sari, but I think it was 17. You guys let me know in the comments. Only difference is she won 2 comps and the most important one. Exactly. That's a big difference, though. That's a massive difference. Is she won 2 comps, Enzo can't win shit. And then secondly, like, she won the most important one, taking out the biggest player of the game. And Enzo, if he did win, would have never made that move. It's not on the producers to give you a good edit in BB. It's a live game. If you want an edit, get in the action. Every day on Rehab, they would talk about this, how Ashley is a nothing. And at the end of the day, Ashley was so good. I'm guessing he said something else. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, you have to make yourself a character, right? We also say coast to jury, but once you get to jury, start playing hard. And I'm not saying she didn't play hard behind the scenes, but she wasn't a lively enough character to outweigh all these big characters on our screen. And I also think that's partially on production too, for not giving us more Ashley as well, which they totally could have. All right. Amy says, I hate that Ashley got the edit she did because so many people, episode only people, don't think she deserves it. Same thing happened with Andy, and he was so deserving of that win. Andy absolutely was deserving of the win. But like that, like I said, that's also being partial on your editing as well, where you're editing only the big characters because you think those are the characters that are going to get there. But then sometimes these people that don't win anything all season, but have great social relationships, and you're not showing that because it's not good TV for you as a production company. And then they get to the end and they win one big competition and they take out the biggest threat and they win the whole game. But you shouldn't underserve that person because they're playing more of a social game. You should be able to highlight everyone equally, but maybe give your bigger players a little bit more, but you should be able to highlight everyone's game and what they're doing that and how it's good for them or how it's good TV for the show. She had one move all season, but that move was the biggest move of the season, in my opinion. Oh my God, you guys are killing it in the comments. I am so far back. Okay, I'm going to catch up. There are only Jag and Chris Underwood. Yeah, those are the 2 asterisks for sure. I definitely agree with that. I would have voted Ashley over Morgan if I were in the jury. I think I would have voted Morgan over Ashley, but I would have liked to hear them both out. I definitely think I would have voted Morgan, though. Jason says, Lauren confirmed on live that Vince lost regardless, even if he cut Morgan, which I believe. I do think that he just tarnished his relationships too much. I do think that. I thought it would be closer, but hearing that, I definitely think that it was because he tarnished his social game. I can't help but wonder if Lauren wasn't going to vote for Vince regardless. She finally took her off her Vinny goggles. Yeah, I have a hard time believing that too. I still think she would have thrown even like a sympathy vote or something. Humane says, when I heard Vince was putting up Lauren, I thought Ashley won that veto for like 3 days instead of Morgan. It still seems to me like the dumbest decision he ever made. Like, I still think that's what cost him the game. I really do. I genuinely think Ashley is a better social strategic player than Morgan, whereas Morgan controlled Vince. Ashley had major influence over Morgan. It's not false. And the problem is the show didn't give us any of that. Excuse me. But I do think that Morgan's game, because she won more competitions and she did have a heavy hand in a lot of these people going out, and it was good for her strategy. And then a lot of people saw her as controlling Vince's vote more than they saw Ashley as controlling Morgan, because Ashley was very subtle about it. I think that's why in my head, people would have seen her more as like the biggest threat, right? Like a Keanu. Who's he going to look at? He's going to look at Morgan, won all these competitions, ran Vince's HOH. He's not thinking about Ashley running Morgan, right? And I don't think she completely ran Morgan, but I do think she had a big influence on Morgan for sure. Yeah, we just got too much to say about this season still. Rankings for another day. For once, we get this out of our system. Yeah, I get it, guys. Sorry, I wish I would have just done that then now. I wish I would have led with that, but I'll just recreate the thumbnail. Kelly wasn't as fun of Morgan, a fan of Morgan, I'm guessing was what he meant to say. So she can easily vote Ashley. Lauren said on a live that Ashley and Morgan final 2 would have been a toss-up, so speeches would have been key. I think Ashley wins 5-2. I still think Morgan wins, but I do think the speeches would have been a big factor. And Ashley killed it, so who knows? But I personally think Morgan would have won. Ashley was never this strategic mastermind. Man, something flew in my mouth and it's like in the back of my throat. Ugh. Ashley was never the strategic mastermind people are making her out to be. She got rid of Morgan and won that final HOH. So respect for that, but let's not make her out to be a Derek. I completely agree. I do think she had a hand at times with things very subtly, but she definitely wasn't the mastermind of the season by no means. That's why I put her at a lower ranking, like probably the latter third ranking if I were to rank her. BB27 player rankings: 1 Rachel, 2 Ashley, 3 Morgan, 4 Will, Vince, Lauren, Ava, Riley, Zach, Catherine, Adrian, Amy, Jimmy, Mickey, Zay, Keanu, Kelly. Oh, you can't put Keanu that low. You can't put Keanu that low. There's no way. Keanu's easily. I would put Vince above Will, and I would put Keanu right below Vince. I put Keanu at 6. I agree with Rachel, Ashley, Morgan, then Vince, then Keanu. And then the rest is kind of whatever. But like 100%, you can't put Keanu that low. Well, if we're venting, BB has gone very soft, it feels. It feels like there will never be a villain win again, and that's very sad to me. I still think there could be a villain arc at some point, but I think that people don't root for the villain. Like let's be real. The audience always roots for an underdog. I feel like an underdog is a big, big reason why people tune into this show. Keanu was so likable and got 65% of the vote, not because he was a great game player. By no means was he a great game player, but he was so likable because of, one, he was very, he had his back against the wall from day one and constantly was able to save himself. He was the true underdog story all season long. And then he was working with people like Rachel, where even though at times it was a very toxic back and forth relationship, like people liked that dynamic because it was so hot and cold. And people liked the fact that, he was like a lovable oaf. People love an underdog. And that's what I think that people tune into this show for, is they want to see, someone rise from the bottom and come to the top. That's why, in my opinion, that's why Taylor says loved as she is. And I think that you know, I don't think Taylor's gameplay was overly impressive to me. It wasn't an insane game, but I loved the underdog story of Taylor. And I think that's what resonated with a lot of people as well. Vince lied all the time, unnecessary lies. Even when Keanu was going home, just tell him he's a great competitor. Stop lying for no reason. Exactly. I think he just did that over and over and over again. Oh, yeah, my mouse. 100% justified. You're not going to clown me and then expect me to vote for you. And he did it to Lauren, Kelly, Keanu too many times. They would have been losers if they voted for him. I'm glad they didn't vote for him. I really am. Morgan's speech would have been a joke. Her speech lacked accountability for her moves, and she tried to argue that she never controlled Vince. Ashley would have smoked her in the speeches and questions. I just wish we would have seen it play out. I do. I part of me wishes we would have seen it play out and see how that would have worked out, because I would have loved to see her in the moment, what she would have said. I know she practiced it, but I feel like maybe she left stuff out. Maybe she would have said something in the heat of the moment, seeing the pressure from the jury. I don't know. I still think Morgan would have won, because how can you not give Morgan the win with all those things that she did in the game? I don't know. Who are the bottom three? For me, Zay, Riley, and Zay, Riley, Adrian. And that's just bottom three as far as like game players for like this season. Like, what did they do in the game? Morgan, too gullible to be considered the best player. Her preparation for her speech made it clear that her strategy wasn't intentional. Ashley convincing her to take her to the end is proof. Yeah, I really think that Morgan should have taken Ava. I do agree with that. I think that Morgan should have wanted to keep Ava in the house more than Ashley, but I think she really stayed true to that alliance. I mean, you're not wrong about some of your takes on the whole Ashley Morgan situation. I just think that because Morgan won so much, she was looked at as like such a big player to take out, right? I don't know. Dick, Ian, Jag. Oh, you're talking about all time. Sorry, I think we're talking about the season. Let's see here. Josh's goodbye message were iconic though, so clutch. His goodbye messages were good. I will give him that. But what else did he do? What else did he do? Questions. Do you know how to message directly? So here I go. When I first found Reality After Show, Rachel was on more than a few times. What happened? And wasn't she supposed to do Reality Queens? And also, what happened to Reality Kings? So yeah, Rachel, obviously, I thought she was going to podcast about this season with me, and then I was shocked to find out that she was on the show. We've talked about that many times. She's still like, it wasn't that she was never a part of Reality After Show or like left or anything like that. I think she took a little bit of a break because we did do a lot all at once. Reality Queens was kind of like, that was something that they were doing, but it wasn't like an all the time thing. And then we had some issues with because we had a sponsor at one point and then it kind of fell out. It was a whole ordeal. So I think that was another factor because money was coming in and then all of a sudden wasn't. So there's just some factors there, but I think that Rachel will come back on the show, no problem. There was no animosity or anything. Reality Kings, I think that was like a thing that was going to happen, but then it didn't really pan out. So who knows? We're up to 14 likes now. We can do better. Come on, guys, smash that like button. All it takes is just one click, and it helps me out a lot. So I appreciate you guys. We got 34 people here in the live, which is impressive because we didn't talk at all about what the topic at hand was that I said. Robert says, would have been an all-time Final Four if Rachel was there instead of Ava. I agree. I mean, it would have been a really fun Final Four if Rachel was still there. Hell, even if Keanu was still there, I would have taken that. Enzo forever the GOAT, playing to get far and not to win. Exactly. That's exactly how I feel. Enzo's game was just repeating whatever the person he's talking about to says. He's just mirrors them. Exactly. He is such a mirror. It's ridiculous. It's a great way of putting it because he just is like, he's a parrot, man. He's a parrot who's just repeating everything. Sorry, something is in the back of my throat and it's killing me right now. But yeah, I agree. I think that Enzo is just never going to win this kind of game. Flop Enzo could never be able to take Cody or Hayden. Exactly. The thing is, he would have to win, But if he won, I still think he takes Hayden over Lane, and I still think he takes Cody over Nicole. I really do think that, because I think he's just so bro down. I'm telling you, it's a thing. Come on, Mouse. I love the Ashley Rachel winning edit. I feel like they could have given us more, though, especially once Rachel left. They could have given us more of the Ashley storyline of, now that Rachel's gone, what is she going to do and how does her game play out? Enzo would have taken out Cody and made a good final speech. I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering, but to me, I really feel like he would have taken Cody. But maybe I'm misremembering. It has been a minute since I watched that season. But you guys tell me if I'm wrong. Was he planning on taking Nicole? I just feel like I remember him always like Team Cody. But he would have had to win something, which that wasn't going to happen. Am I the only one watching on Twitch? Maybe I should go over to YouTube. If you want to go over to YouTube, you can. You are the only one on Twitch. If you guys can, help me out. Give me a follow on Twitch. I know a lot of you might not have a Twitch account. That's fine. But if you do, it helps me out tremendously if you guys can give me some love on Twitch as well. Twitch.tv/Bobby Goodsby. Enzo got to final three and or two final three, excuse me, and he would have lost to all four. Exactly. I agree. BB27 Ashley's vision of the game was the best I've ever seen. Everybody went to Ashley with information. They did. She was very candid about it. She wasn't a mastermind by any means, but she was just socially good with everybody. And it was very impressive. Nicole would have won regardless if her game was better than Enzo. Oh, yeah, she would have won. 1,000% she would have won. I agree. Over Enzo, all day. Against Cody, I don't think so. But I think against Enzo, absolutely. There was a lot of strategic moves Ashley made that they could have shown and didn't. Exactly. That's the thing, is like, I wish they would have given us more of that. And then I think the viewing audience at home that didn't actually see the feeds and weren't a part of the feeds would have been able to actually see the strategic game that she did play. They just didn't give that on the actual show proper. And that's why I think a lot of the casuals weren't picking up and didn't understand why she won over Vince. Post jury was like 2 to 3 episodes, 2 to 3 weeks and 8 episodes. Play hard early if you want to be remembered. Exactly. You really do need to play hard to be remembered, especially with the format nowadays where they want to have as many people as they can until the end. They have as many people as they can to the end, and then they just do a bunch of multiple people eliminations. What's up, Even Hands? How hard is it to have good relationships with if you are never putting any on the block? That's the thing. It's not hard to have good relationships with people. You have to constantly make sure yourself is not on the block. So you got to make sure you're good with those people that are the ones that do come into power. But I think that it's very heavy handed when you do have the power and you have a say in the game and you do have, the safety because you are the one in power. But then you have to also be able to caress the social part of it and keep those relationships intact. And when you do it you're too aggressive, or you're very like Vince, how you do it and you're telling people one thing and then do another instead of being honest with them or trying to allow them to understand why you're making the moves you are, it just comes across bad. So yes, as much as it's good to win power and win safety, what have you, you have to do it in a way that doesn't disrespect your other house guests. As mad as Dave Vaughn and Ian were mad at Nicole, they had no respect for Enzo and would not bite the bullet and vote for Nicole, or would have had to bite the bullet and vote for Nicole. Yeah, I agree. I think they would have absolutely voted for Nicole over Enzo all day, every day. Ashley was planting seeds of doubt in Morgan and Vince's heads the last few days. She did a great job of that. And they should have showed us more of that too. They really should have, because she was really putting it into their heads. And I mean, Morgan was full on going to take Ashley. And I think if Vince in the same situation, I still think he would have taken Ashley. Maybe he takes Morgan, but I still think he would have taken Ashley because he thought he could beat her. Riley 9, LOL. He got his HOH stolen. Which one? I'm behind on the comments, so maybe I'm misremembering what we're talking about here. He got his HOH stolen from Morgan. You're talking about Vince from Morgan. I'm so behind. Sorry. I forgot what we were discussing at that point. I would disagree. Ashley was comfortably the best strategic player this season. She was able to pivot when things went wrong to keep herself safe. She always had her pulse on the whole game. Not to deny that she did. Not to not deny that she did, but she also just never had, like, she never won anything. Not to say she needed to. That's why she obviously won. It's because she had the best social strategy, and then she won when she absolutely needed to. But I do think that she might have had her finger on the pulse, but up until Rachel leaving, Rachel was the one steering the wheel the entire time. She played a factor in things at times, but she was also having to play from the bottom from week one, and then socially got herself in a position where she felt comfortable with the people she was with. I think once Rachel was gone is really when she knew she had to have her finger on the pulse even more, because Rachel wasn't there to be her shield. Keanu just won comps. I don't get why people like him. He is overrated. He won comps, but like the reason why people like him, I've said this a million times, guys, it's because he was an underdog. He was an underdog constantly. Now, he was an underdog by his own doing, absolutely. And because he became such a threat because he was winning all these competitions. But people love to root for the underdog. It's definitely a thing. So that's why he's absolutely loved. I stopped rooting for underdogs after Faute. I can't. That's fair. I hope they never cast the second damsel in distress Lauren type in BB anymore. We need smarter and more decisive players cast. Also more clout demon social media influencers. No more. I was going to say, I don't want those people at all. I thought you said you wanted more of those. Yeah. No more clout people. No more social media influencers. No people just doing it for the likes and clicks and the social media aspect of the game. I want people that want to be there. They want to win the game. They want to win the 750,000, and they want to like just have fun playing a social strategy game. A lot of these people are just doing it so that they can get their 15 minutes of fame. Evil Dick was a great villain and was loved by the public. I agree. Like, Evil Dick was a great villain because he had like a soft side to him, but he also had like, I'm going to get in your face and bang pot and spans and tell you why you suck, because that's just who I am, and screw you. And if you hate it, I don't care. But then he also had like the sweetness and stuff where you saw him talking to Danielle and trying to mend that relationship, that like he was like a rootable villain, right? Even though that didn't work out, unfortunately. I root for villains. That's why I'm team Mickey Mouse all season. Mickey was so all over the place. Her game was so all over the place. I couldn't stand it. But hey, if you like it, you like it. How do you feel about the three masterminds? What's up with all clues like it would have mattered? I said it yesterday on the stream. The whole mastermind thing was absolutely insane to me. Like, I was just like, I don't care. I don't care. I don't need 10 minutes of this explaining the mastermind twist. Like, give us more commentary of like the pre-jury people or the jury, and like ask them more stuff about them or about their games and stuff. I don't care to see that there was three masterminds the whole time. No one cared. We all just thought it was a max figure and that it was like someone that worked in production. We do not care. It was good to see Eric Stein, though. I did like seeing Eric Stein. Bobby, do you believe in karma? If yes, then Ashley is a good karma. Morgan and Vince, bad karma. They recap what they reap what they sowed. No, I do believe in karma. I think what goes around comes around, and I think that if you guys, if you put bad stuff out there, then bad stuff's gonna come back to you. I'm not like all like, oh, I don't believe in like, I mean, I'm not like a big like your signs and stuff represents what you're gonna be. Some people may be into that. That's fine. It's not for me. But I do believe that like if you're a good person, like good things will happen to you. If you are someone that tries to be the best version of yourself and tries to do good unto others, good will be done unto you. I definitely believe in that. If they found out, wouldn't have mattered. Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered. It really wouldn't have mattered. I really didn't care for it. He tried to play Big Brother Humane. You listed 6 to 7 people over him who couldn't even do that. Yeah, he's talking about Keanu. Yeah, Keanu played the game unlike a lot of people did. Only was a fan favorite because him not talking to Danielle for 2 years. All right. Oh, you're talking about Evil Dick. There was a lot of aspects. There was a lot. And honestly, back then it was like different day and age too. This was really before like social media was really what it is now. But like, yeah, I mean, it's just different day and age too. Mickey, what's going on? How you doing? Thoughts on Zach not buying himself off the block? Still think it was a very stupid decision, but he might not have been very long for this game anyways, to be real with you. So, you know, 10K is essentially the money that they're getting when they make jury. So he's basically getting paid jury money, but doesn't have to sit in the jury house all summer long and to make the same amount of money. Now, yes, he probably got 20K at that point, so that would have been nicer. But like, it wasn't as bad. Oh, shoot, sorry, I really knocked the mic there, or the camera there. So it wasn't as bad, in my opinion, as, you know, people made it out to be, in my personal opinion. I still think he should have. You got to take a chance and try to save yourself. But I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be. That's for sure. He was so actively bad that I put him this low. Trusting people didn't care about him over Rachel was dumb, and trying to get her backdoored. Like I said, he was a lovable oaf. He literally did stuff to get in his own way. There were so many times where it was like Lucy with the football with Vince. But I still loved his story and I loved his arc, and I just wish we would have got him to the Final Four. But at the end of the day, like, you can have your feelings about Keanu. Obviously, 65% of the people loved Keanu and wanted to see him over Rachel, which was a big uphill battle from the start, especially after she was taken out the way she was, and he still was able to pull it out. So there's obviously something that people resonate with. Is there a like button somewhere here on Twitch? How do I help you get noticed more on here? I mean, if you want to just share the channel, put it on your social media. So, like, you know, share with others that, you know, this is something you enjoy. That helps me out more than anything. Like that, hitting the like button on YouTube, whatever. I don't think there's anything on Twitch, but yeah, appreciate you. Thank you so much. What's up, Sincere? Good to see you again. Unpopular opinion, Vince played a good game. Had the jury been sequestered for longer, they would have been less bitter. He has a lot of potential in future games. Why do people like Dan, but not him? Well, because Dan... Okay, so Dan on his first game wasn't as cutthroat as he was Dan on his second game. There's a lot of similarities, not complete similar, but like similarities to Dan's game and Vince's game when it came to jury management. That's what I'll say. That's the extent of it, was the jury management part. But I think people like Dan because, one, he was a former winner, and the second time around, he was like playing balls to the wall, being like, I have nothing to lose here. Let's go for it. While Vince was playing and just being insufferable and being whiny and being complaining and the whole cheat man. It's like, there's a lot of factors, right? There's a lot of factors as to why people don't like him over Dan. And it's a lot to do with those secondary factors that I said. But as far as the jury being sequestered in different locations, I don't really think it mattered. I think people just had an opinion of Vince because of the way he treated him all game. Enzo wins one of the funniest house guests for me, though. No other player has made me laugh on the feeds like he has. No, he was funny. I will agree with you. He was funny. I think he seems like a cool dude, but on my TV, I just don't need to see him. I don't need to see him again. I think he was going to take Cody. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was taking Cody as well. Were you guys confused when Morgan said she and Vince played opposite games? Because I thought they played similar games and she would have needed to explain her moves to separate her game from him. I do think that she needed to explain why she, you know, dominated Vince's moves. I think that would have been a big contributing factor for her. But we're confused when Morgan said she and Vince played opposite games. Like, they definitely played hand in hand, but she needed to explain why she ran the HOHs. She ran the moves. She did what she had to do to win. If she would have been clarified that in a final two speech, I would have given her the money hands down. I think Rachel, Will, Ava are as jurors who always vote for Ashley, secures her win against Morgan. With Lauren saying it could be a toss-up on live and Kelly not liking Morgan, I think Ashley wins always. And you know what? That's fine. That's fine. It's honestly, it would have been very close. It would have been close, but I still think it would have been Morgan, but that's just my personal opinion. I'm adding you on IG. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Juan. Ava left the house saying that she would do her best. By the way, guys, if you follow me on IG, I will follow all of you back. As soon as I look on here, I will make sure to follow all of you back. Ava left the house saying that she would do her best to ensure that Ashley got the credit she deserved. Ashley even gave her talking points. Morgan didn't have shooters on the jury like Ashley. I mean, we'll just never know. We'll just never know because it never panned out. Production must have convinced themselves Ashley wasn't going to win, so didn't focus on her edit. Absolutely. That's 100% what happened. Dear Lord, I feel like I'm catching up and then I'm not on the comments. You guys are killing it today. Vince would unnecessarily lie to people to the last second, do the opposite, then whine and cry and say he was forced to rinse and repeat. If he had handled that differently, he probably wins. Exactly. I agree. I think if he handles it differently, the way he does it, he's just always crying, whining, coming across like that. It's just, it sucks. And he was trying to like emotionally get people back in on their side and use emotion to run it by whining and crying and saying all these things, and then would just completely backstab these people in the next second he got. They kept asking Ashley what her strategic moves were besides her social game, and she kept saying her social game was her strategy, and all she talked about was her alliance. She answered the cues badly, in my opinion. I see. I didn't mind her jury questioning. I think she's did a very good job in her speeches. Except for when Julie kept cutting her off because she just kept going so long. But I do think that she was very well prepared, unlike other people. Bobby, what's your thoughts on the blockbuster? Should it stay or go? If it stays, I think it should be 4 to 5 weeks at most. I said this before on the stream, so I'll make this brief. I like Blockbuster. I think it allows the rest of the week to play out where we don't know who's going home, where opposed to like before Blockbuster, 9 times out of 10 by Sunday, you have a good idea who's going home, and the rest of the week is kind of just lackluster. At least then it gives someone, there's no more backdoor. It gives everyone a chance to save themselves. I do hate that it takes away the HOH competition. And I think that the HOH should now be moved to the live stream every single Thursday night after the episode. It would be great for Paramount Plus. They would get subscribers onto Paramount Plus to tune in to watch the live HOH competition every Thursday night. And I think it'd be huge for them. I think they should absolutely move to that. Doesn't even have to always be endurance, but just give us a HOH competition. That's all we ask for. But I think the Blockbuster absolutely should end at jury, before jury. Like the one before jury, done. I'm totally cool with that. Just not during jury. That's true about playing hard. If we want to remember you, if you go out pre-jury, that's really the only thing we remember Frenchie for. Exactly. You got to play hard. You want to be entertaining, but you also want to do enough to win the game and not just be a clout chaser. Chelsea put a lot of people on the block and they still voted for her. She did, but she did it in a much more respectable way, right? She did it in a way that people could stomach and be like, you know what? You took me out. It sucks, but I respect you for it. Vince, on the other hand, when he did it, was just so whiny and like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, like he would like almost argue with people as to why they should be okay with it. And no one's going to ever be okay with going home. While Chelsea was very much so like, listen, this is why I had to do this. I think you're a great competitor. The way Vince did it is just not the right way. Frenchie, yeah. Ashley was the seed master. She absolutely was. What's going on, Elias? Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you're doing well. Vince looked shocked in the interview when he was told that Morgan was going to take Ashley to the final 2. But he knew. I think he had to have known in his heart of hearts that he would, like, he even said it when he lost part 2 of the HOH. He's like, I just lost the game. So I think he knew that that he probably figured Morgan was going to win part 3, and he knew Morgan was going to take Ashley because it was an easier win in his eyes, not in our eyes, but in his eyes. I think that was the case. Cam was going to lose to both MJ and Chelsea and was in the Ashley position. Yeah, but Cam did nothing all season. And I had him in my draft. I was so mad. He sucks so bad. It wasn't always Rach steering. As Ashley explained, she convinced Rach that Morgan was good for their game, and by extension, they could bring in Vince. She created that alliance to navigate the game. I'm not saying she completely ran it, so maybe I misspoke there. I think Rachel was always the biggest shield, and obviously Rachel was the more forefront for these people, that she was more so running that alliance of really 3 between her, Ashley, and Will. So she was always going to be the face of that. But that was also a shield for Ashley so that she was able to socialize more with people on the other side. But I do think that Rachel had the upper hand. And once Rachel left, it was like, well, I lost my shield. I lost the person that everyone sees as like the person who's making all the moves in this alliance. Now I have to make sure I shore up the alliances that we were able to develop because of the Rachel and myself dynamic, if that makes sense. No more Cloud people. Jimmy was unbearable with it. I completely agree. I can't stand seeing his stuff online. Keanu loved him, but damn, he pissed me off with him not keeping his mouth shut about strategy. It was so bad. It was so bad. And it's like, Keanu, every time I just wanted to shake my hand, I wanted to strangle him. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? It sucked. Chelsea and NBA treat people better than Vince and Ashley. Was more active than Cam without power. Either it's not you win comps doesn't equal loser win is how you will power and position and had respect. 1000% agree with that. Mickey was so cringe to me. Same. I just couldn't. I couldn't. That's all I can say. I couldn't. I wouldn't mind a legend coming back every scene from now on. Let's get Vanessa Rousseau back. Let's get Janelle Morgan. I mean, I hate when they bring back one person. Either do all newbies or do all, former house guests. I don't like when they mix it in like 2, 3, 4 people from former seasons. It's just not my favorite. I think it stifles gameplay and it doesn't allow these people that could be big characters to really develop. Yes, Mary, unlikable and lacked respect. Need to give people something to vote for. Yeah, exactly. They're very unlikable. They need to stop trying to make Frankie Grande happen. We did not ask for him to keep coming back, but it's the Ariana Grande factor, guys. Like if they could get Travis Kelce in there because of the Taylor Swift situation, like they would 100% do it. 1000%. Like they want those outside influences that will get eyeballs. Because at the end of the day, it's a television show, so they're gonna get these people that are going to have some kind of influence to the biggest names in the world. Grodner was the real mastermind. She sucks at her job. You guys have all heard my opinion on Grodner and where I think that the show should go from here on out. I'm convinced that Lauren is a producer's niece or something because I don't understand how she got cast. I'd love to see the video she sent in. And I'm still not convinced that she was a super fan. I think her mom's a super fan, and I think she acted like a super fan, but I'm not convinced she is a super fan. I honestly, it baffles me that she was cast. She's so like how she talks and stuff, like how quiet she is, and it's just she couldn't look people in the eyes. Like it was just it was so frustrating. The mastermind thing was silly, and I was thinking, what is this? Then Eric Stein came out, and I thought, oh my god, that's amazing. Haven't seen Eric Rahab episode that came out today. So good. No, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm gonna watch it for sure. Will and Rachel are Ashley's BB parents. They were not going to let Ashley lose against Morgan no matter what. Will called her his little girl. Yeah, but I still think they would have. I do agree with you, but I do think there's also a respect for like who played the best game too, which I think they saw a lot more of her game than other people. So that's why I'm saying not necessarily been their votes. It would have been others. Let's see here. Amy says, or yeah, Amy Bonner, maybe she sent her audition tape in at 4x speed. It's a good point. Bobby, what's your sign? I'm a Pisces. I was born in February 27th. So I am a Pisces. And I have no idea what my attributes are, but you guys let me know if they are true. I have no idea. Legends can come back for all-star seasons. I don't want returning house guests competing with new players. We need to create fresh legends and not constantly live in the past. I agree. 1000% I agree, being Nickel. I bet Bobby is a Taurus. I was not a Taurus. I am not a Taurus. I am a Pisces. Maybe that's what Lauren did. I swear she talked so slow and Mickey talked so fast. I was watching a clip of Mickey once and I checked to see if it was faster speed. It wasn't. Dan didn't whine and cry constantly. Exactly. Man, am I that far back in the comments that we're talking about the whole Dan thing again? Sincere. Rachel was mean to Keanu at the beginning of the season, and so was Jimmy when he called him out. You don't have to be likable to win AFP. You just have to be the underdog or bullied, and America pities you. It's not false. It's not false. Honestly, it's not false. But then you also, I think, have to win and like prove that even with your back against the wall, you're able to save yourself. I do think there's a big element to that. It's like, who do people resonate with? Dan's jury management was great in BB10. Oh, BB10 was great. BB14, not so great. But I think he just played way more balls to the wall. Ashley would have never won if Rachel wasn't in the season. It's a good debate. But maybe she would have played a different game because Rachel wasn't there. I don't know. We'll just never know because it's just something that didn't happen. I wish Rachel said, "Cheaters, you better grab a life vest" at her jury speech. That would have been good. The biggest move of the season was Lauren using the veto on Vince. If she didn't do that and he absolutely had the votes to stay, the entire end game would have been drastically different. I don't disagree with you. I think that was a big turning point for Lauren, and I think it would have been a big turning point for Vince later on too. Ashley set up the game perfectly. She made sure everyone was great with her, and when they walked out the door, it was mightily impressive. I agree. I mean, I don't disagree that Ashley played a good game. Was it one of my favorite winning games of all time? No. And do I think it's in the bottom third of my winner rankings? Absolutely. But do I think that she was a deserving winner for this season and how she did it? Absolutely. Catherine and Mickey should have been added to the jury. Honestly, Catherine is another one I could have been good without this whole season. Like, get someone else in her place. I was so high on her coming into the season, and she was a big letdown in my opinion. Ashley just sat back and waited for Rachel and the comp beast to battle it out. Production set up Ashley perfectly. You're not false. There. But she did do a lot social strategy wise to get herself in a position where, because these other comp beasts were winning the competition, she also didn't have to worry as much as other people. Vinny acted like his hand was forced every time he put someone up. He just didn't own any of his moves. Another great point. The other thing too about Vinny is he constantly belittled Ashley and didn't respect her game and thought she was the ultimate like floater in his opinion, even though it was more of a coaster. But like, I think that for him, he just always saw her game as not good and not good enough to win. So that also was an aspect that I think saved Ashley, because he won power multiple times. And if he felt like he had any chance to lose against her, or that she had any semblance of a game that can be respected, he had opportunities to take her out. And that's where I think Ashley did really well at positioning herself, especially with her relationship with Morgan. Unpopular opinion, but I love me some Frankie Grande. And that's fine. I like Frankie Grande as a cast member on 16, but the fact that they continue to bring him back and continue to shove him in our face, that I hate. I really hate it. Listen, I have no problem with Frankie Grande, the person. I have no problem with him on 16. I actually enjoyed him on 16. I hate that post 16. It's like they just continue want to play that card. Can't help it. I like Frankie. That's fine. I agree with the comments that Morgan is a homewrecker. People can say I love you to friends. Some people are just flirty, touchy. They never were physically intimate or cross boundaries from what I saw. You don't agree with that. So I think that she went against girl code. I honestly think they pushed the limits, right? I think they pushed the limits, and it's more so on Vince for allowing that when you have a girlfriend. But I think that also kind of like shame on Morgan too, because like you're going against girl code, even though I'm a guy saying that. But like, I do think that there were boundaries that were maybe a little bit, they went to the edge, or they maybe went a little bit over, and they tried to justify that those actions were okay. And that's what I think people more so had a problem with, is they continued to do these things when told by other cast members and stuff too, that it didn't look good. When Zingba even said, this isn't looking good, essentially. And then they still go with those things and they still continue to do those things. I think that's where it was like, I wouldn't say Ashley just back. She was always gaming in behind the scenes. She had shields, of course. In the end, the rage twist was to her benefit. She was able to pivot and stay safe. Okay, so I kind of got to get to the end of these. So, man, there's just so many comments because I got to go pick up the little one. All right, so real quick, the season needed an Ashley win with how the comp heavy this season was. The dumbass twist. Ashley winning highlights the BB game is a game of social strategy. Yep, I agree. As Ash explained at Final 7, she ensured she was shielded on all sides. She made almost everyone an ally, and it was impressive. She did actually, like, she made people an ally. She was in good with everyone, and that's why she's social strategy was one of the top of the season. Rachel would have voted for Morgan over Ashley, in my opinion, if Morgan explained she ran Vince's HOH. Rachel has respect for the game. We'll just never know. We'll never know. I'll definitely ask Rachel if and when I do ever get her on the stream here. Production should give reasonable edits to all their house guests. Ashley's edit was so minimal. She literally has half of Vince's DRs. Same thing happened with Steve and Andy. They just should have put her on the show more, for sure. And the fact that they didn't highlight her more, especially towards the end game, was wild to me. I'm a Pisces also. We can be more on the sensitive side and big dreamers. Well, that tracks. Hold on one second, guys. Oh, you scared the shit out of me. Oh, I was like, who's walking into my house right now? I thought you were going to go get pee. Oh, you scared the shit out of me. Oh, sorry, guys. My wife just scared the living shit out of me. Holy cow. I thought someone was breaking into my house. Oh, Angie, come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, she scared the living shit out of me. Because she was supposed to go pick up the little one. I just remembered she was going to go get her. Say hi real quick. Say hi.
I don't know where I'm looking.
Just right here, camera.
Okay.
Say hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
I was okay. Bye, babe. I was not expecting her to be here. Because she was going to go pick up the little one. I was like, oh wait, yeah, she's picking her up. So I guess I can go a little bit longer in here. And then all of a sudden I hear someone like walking in the house, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Why is there like movement? It's definitely not the dog. So I was like, I had to get up and go check. And then all of a sudden she's like bringing chairs into the house. I'm like, oh, I turn the corner. I just see someone like carrying something. I'm like, it was her the whole time. Sorry about that, guys. That's Angie, by the way. But yeah, Pisces can be sensitive side and big dreamers, man. That maybe I do believe it, because that is me. That is 100% me. Look at me here, dreaming big. During a roundtable, it sounded like Rachel was going to vote for Vince, yet everyone kept saying she was bitter. Yeah, I always don't believe the jury roundtable, because I feel like that's very produced by production too. They have to say certain things about everyone. Mickey would blink 10,000 times before Lauren could finish the sentence. It's true. I'm a Virgo. That means I'm better than everyone else. You're smart, perfect sign, and also super humble. Totally describes me. Yeah, totally describes you, Mary, for sure. Pisces are emotional, kind, spiritual, cry easily, sensitive, likes everyone, and gives them a chance until crossed. Never forgets how people treat them. I'm a Pisces too. Shit. That like 100% describes me. I still don't believe everything in those things. I do things there's like things I don't believe, but like, yeah, like a lot of that is me. Shit. I will. Don't worry. The entire season would have been different if Rachel wasn't there. 1,000%. Astrology is 100% fake. Listen. It was so poetic that Vince looked down on Ashley. Meanwhile, Ashley was running laps around him strategically, literally stealing his allies and their votes as they left the house. Yeah, I mean, she ran circles around him socially, 1,000%. 11th and 10th should be jurors. I don't know. I think I like the smaller juries. Catherine just spews bitch energy. I liked her too, because I thought that bitch energy was gonna be like fun to watch, and like fun, like a good game player. And she just like sat there all the time, didn't really play. Was all over Riley. I don't know. Not even like all over Riley, just like all over like the Riley, the whatever, the Riley relationship of it all. I don't know. I feel Virgo qualities fit me, so I logically and never temperamental. Never. I could see that. Abby Maria. Humane says, Sincere says at Humane, I think your beliefs are fake too. We all believe in different things. Learn how to coexist and not negate other people's values and put them down. Listen, I'm not putting anyone's things down. Like if you want to believe that, you believe that. I personally, there's things about it that I don't believe, but man, reading about those stuff about myself, I'm like, man, those kind of ring true with me. Maybe I should reconsider my emotional attachment to it. Either a coincidence or a placebo effect. I enjoyed the homewrecker brother in small doses. LOL. Morgan may have gone against girl code, but she was trying to win 750K, so I give her a pass. I put all the blame on Vinny. Fair. Very fair. I will double down because I'm a Morgan stan and blindly loyal and say girl code only is valid if you know the other girl. LOL. She is no one to Morgan, so I don't think Morgan owes her anything. I thought. That's fair. If you feel that way, that's fair. And like I said, I'm not a girl, so I can't really completely say girl code because I'm not the same. But I feel like there is also like a respect thing for people that are in a relationship, and I think that the line was crossed a little or like right on the edge. That's what I'd say. I agreed. Morgan was playing the game. It's on Vince, not Morgan. He was the one in the 7-year relationship. She went to play Big Brother and will win life-changing money. But it never felt like she actually looked at it as like, and if she would have owned up to that and said like, I'm doing this and I'm playing Vince because I'm trying to win the money, I would respect it a lot more. But like, she never gave us that indication that that's why she was doing it. So that's why I feel like it was a little icky, right? And also 100% agree though. It's mainly on Vince. He's the one who's in the relationship. Pooing scares the shit out of me, literally. Okay. Angie. Yep, that was Angie. Hi, Angie. Glad to meet you, the wifey. Yeah, she she scared the shit out of me. She scared the shit out of me. I'm not gonna lie. I thought someone was breaking in my house. I'm like, what am I getting swatted right now? What the hell's happening? She is cute. Good for you, Bobs. Yeah, she's beautiful. She is absolutely gorgeous. I'm a very lucky man. I know it. She would never say the same thing about me, but well, we'll get her on stream here one of these times. But yeah, that's the wifey. Hey, Angie. Amy says, exactly. It's not Morgan's responsibility to have some guy's girlfriend. She doesn't know best interest in mind. Let's see here. Matthias, LOL, it's real. Chris says, regarding the roundtable, I think man, my mouse is really messing up. I think they edited Rachel saying that I won't allow this to be a bitter jury because of the rest of the players were like dragging Vince a lot. And I think that's true too. I think she wanted it to be like, okay, let's also think about the game, not just our emotional aspects. But I think in the day, she was always going to vote Ashley over Vince. 1,000%. I think she was still going to vote Morgan over Vince too. Those Pisces traits totally track me. Me too. It's kind of wild. There was probably no pro Vince take, so they had to use the Rachel attachment. Sorry, someone's sending me multiple things. There was probably no pro Vince takes, so they had to use, exactly. No, that's the thing. Is like that's kind of what I was saying. Like it was kind of contrived, right? It's like production is going to give us what they want us to see, and they want us to have, like, they need to have good and bad takes of everyone, right? So even if there's no good takes for Vince, they're gonna have someone like a Rachel who's well versed in this stuff to give why there's a good take to vote for Vince in the end. They have to show a good or bad for every single person, and they can't just, only go all on one person. They have to do it because at the end of the day, it is a TV show. My dad always says, read all the horoscopes and pick the ones you like. Never said that. That's sincere. Does Angie watch Big Brother or other shows like it? She's not a Big Brother fan. She asked me like the other day, she was like, oh yeah, didn't that show end? Who won? I was like, Ashley. And she's like, wait, which one's that? So she's like, she absolutely like doesn't follow along. She knew that Rachel was there, obviously, because she knows Rachel through me. But she definitely does not care nearly. I think it's just a lot for her. She's actually gone back and watched former seasons with me. She was like, oh yeah, I'll watch the one with Frankie Grande because she liked Ariana Grande. And then what was the other one she watched? She started watching BB12 with me, but the thing is, she just like at a certain point tunes out. She does like Australian Survivor. She likes Australian Survivor, but not as much as US Survivor. It's hilarious. But she watches Dancing with the Stars and like Love Island and stuff like that. So maybe I'll bite the bullet and watch some of those shows so we can get her on here on the stream with me. Am I the only one who found Morgan to be one of the most unlikable house guests in recent memory? Her obsession with Lauren constantly nagging. She gave off Glenn Close Fatal Attraction vibes. I wasn't a huge fan of Morgan as like the way she played the game, but I do respect how she like won a lot of competitions and how she was running things at a certain point. But I can understand why you're not a fan of her. I get it. Like 2/3 of the cast were unlikable. 1,000%. 1,000%. This is also true. And then exactly, Bobby. They want to set the roundtable up so that we don't know who's going to win. They want to keep the audience guessing and in the dark to an extent. Absolutely. They have to. It's a TV show. At the end of the day, there's a lot more casuals than there are super fans like us. So they got to keep the casuals guessing. We should have jury feeds. I wish we did. Dude, I would pay for jury feeds 1,000%. They'll never give that to us, though. They do this in Survivor 2 at the final episode. The jury tries to hype up everyone's game, even though it's clear some people have no win equity, but they have to find something nice to say because they have to. It's for the TV show. They got to keep you on the edge of your seat and wondering who it's going to be that's going to win. Bobby, are you going to cover Traders Canada when it's out? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to cover Traders Canada. Just got to figure out a way to watch it, though. I wonder, is it going to be like BB Can, where it's like really hard to watch for us in the US? If anyone knows a way to watch it, let me know, because I'm definitely down to watch it. When does it start, by the way? Let me know when it starts. I'm excited to see some of the former survivors on there. And Kevin from BB Can. I love Kevin from BB Can. I watched BB 13 in a week and a half recently. That's crazy. I could not. A belated hi to wifey Angie. Thank you. She said hi to everybody. She also is very shy. So she was like, why are you making me do this? I'm sure she was like, why did I have to do that? But I was like, hey, get her in there so people can see what you look like. She has good taste. Australian Survivor is better. King George, Kirby. I texted King George the other day too and asked him if he would come on with me on my live stream to talk about Survivor US. He said he would. So I will. It's funny because I've done projects for King George. I helped him with some of his audition tapes for stuff. So he's a buddy of mine. So I'm going to get King George in here eventually to talk about the season of Survivor. All right. If my mouse will work with me. What's up, OCHB viewer? Good to see you again. Morgan handled her eviction with total class. I became a fan. No, she did. She absolutely did. Your wife saw the whole season of Pearl Islands for Fairplay. She watched majority of it. I don't think she finished it, but I don't even think she saw the dead grandma part. So I'm going to have to get her to watch that. She knows about it, though. I didn't like Moron. Oh, man. Yeah. Morgan, Moron. I got you. I got nervous after the jury segment because it seemed like Rachel was so pro Vince. Like I said, guys, they had to include something nice to say about Vince. They had to do it. Funny spoiler. Hi, Bear. I know I'm going to take you out right now, buddy. 1 second. Come here. I am surprised you found Morgan so unlikable, especially with this cast. For me, she was easily one of the most likable. She played hard, always pushing her agenda. For those of you that wanted to see this Bear, this is Bear. This is the dog. He is crying right now because mommy just left. Mommy, this is everything. So it's okay, bud. I'm right here. Not that I didn't like her. I think like she was fine on my television screen. I just found the whole Cheat Man's very cringe. And then I just found her like at times like the gameplay she used sometimes, especially the way she said things. It didn't resonate with me. And it came off very like, what's the word I'm looking for? It came off very like, how could you do this to me kind of thing? Like, right? Like it's my way or the highway. And I just feel like if I was playing the game, I couldn't work with that. I just always look at it as the lens of people I could play with. And maybe that's on me for looking at things that way. Jetlag All-Stars episode 2 coming out tomorrow. Oh, okay. Jetlag's great. I like Jetlag a lot. End of October, Traders Canada. I watch on Daily Motion the following day. That's the way they always get uploaded. So I'll have to check that out. Thank you for letting me know. I use a VPN or go to Rahap. Yeah, see, I usually use the Rahap International ones. So maybe I'll just do that. I wasn't sure if they were going to have it or not. I'm sure they were. I should have thought of that more. So that's probably how I have to watch it. It makes their Patreon so worth it. It's the reason why I continue to do the Patreons, because of the links. 1000%. Whoever does that, they're very good at how they do it. King George is my favorite player of all seasons of all time. I love King George. King George is a good buddy of mine. He actually came to LA last year, about this time last year. And he and I and Penelope, we all went to lunch together at a strip mall, in like random ass strip mall in LA. And it's so funny because no one recognized him. Obviously, like it's pretty niche to be recognized, but like it was just me, King George, and Penelope having lunch at a diner. And I'm just sitting here with King George talking about Survivor and stuff. And we were talking about Australia v. the World, even though he couldn't really talk about it. But he was just telling me, because I knew he couldn't say anything at the time. This was a year ago. But I was like, I hope you had a good time with it and all this stuff. He's like, I checked all the benchmarks I required for myself. So I was like, okay, well, let's see what that means. Bobby, how do you know Rachel, George, etc.? Have you worked in reality TV business for a while? So I used to work for Rahap. We talked about that. And I worked for Reality After Show here on YouTube. And so obviously through like the people and the connections I made with like Rachel, Fairplay, Kelly Wentworth, Gabe Ortiz, who else? Matt Bischoff, and then King George. Like I've met multiple people through things. I've got to interview Parvati, David from Australia Survivor. Like I've had a lot of opportunities open up to me. Josh, I got to interview him from Big Brother 19. So like I've just been working in this niche podcasting world for a while. So I have been lucky enough to develop relationships. Like I text Wentworth all the time. Every freaking Sunday for football and stuff, I'll hit her up about her Seahawks and she'll give me shit about my Vikings and stuff. So you just develop friendships with people, even though I've never been in the world and actually played the game. I'm just saying there's a reason why she is still single at 34 and she is a very good looking woman. She has toxic relation traits. And why did she keep Zach's toothbrush? I honestly don't disagree with that take. I don't disagree with that take. She has some traits that I'm like, they're just not things that I agree with, but I don't have anything against her personally. Oh, he is so cute. He is a cutie. He's a little like Chihuahua mix. Hiya, Bear. See, Bear, people love you too. They want you on stream probably more than me. Come here. Yeah, fair enough. With Morgan, I get that. I suppose I definitely wasn't as keen on Morgan when Zach was there, but after he left, I liked her a lot more. I agree. I did like her more after she left, even though I didn't like the cheatmans of it all. You mentioned how you want her to own the fact that she was manipulating Vince and playing, but what if she was being sincere and she actually liked Vince as a person and it wasn't fake? I'm not saying that like I wanted her to own the fact if that's what she was actually doing. Right. I feel like I would have respected those moves more if I saw that as something that she was actually doing. I don't discount the fact that she liked him as a person, but I felt like the borderline was crossed a couple times, in my opinion, when someone has a girlfriend, that if it wasn't for gameplay, I think it was just kind of weird, in my opinion. You guys can have your opinion on it. That's just my personal opinion. I found a gate at SLC airport flight to Butte, Montana. I'm the only person who would take a picture of that. I love it. I thought you were about to say you went to lunch with Penelope at a strip club for a second. No, definitely not that. Guys, I just went there because they have a great buffet. No, strip mall with me, King George, and Penelope. It was a weird day. It was cool, but it was a weird day. Kelly Wentworth was killing it this year with Big Brother content on Instagram. She always kills it. She's so good. I tell her all the time, like the little clips you make and stuff, they're so clever. Like I wish I could be half of that. I really do. Yeah, Wentworth's social media stuff this year was top tier. She killed it. One of my favorite survivors. Wentworth does not count. She is so good. She is so good. Like I honestly, like I wish I could get her to do stuff for me or like help me out with stuff because she does it better. And she knows like TikTok and all that stuff a lot better than I do. So I got to get some help from her with TikTok and everything. If you can't handle my Saints at 0-4, you can't handle us at 17-4. Oh, buddy. I think it's going to be a long year. I heard the word strip. Tommy comes back instantly as soon as he hears strip. Tommy, have you been in the background the whole time and then that's when it caught your attention? I'm still single at 49, but doesn't mean there's anything wrong with me. I'm just picky. I've called off 2 engagements. We don't know why Morgan is still single. She seems perfectly normal to me. Absolutely. Like, no, you don't have to be married or anything. Like, you don't have to, like, I totally don't. I'm not saying that by any means. I'm just saying there's aspects to her that feel to me like it's very, like there's selfish tendencies. And that was what I'm kind of pointing at, is more so not the fact that she's not married or in a relationship. That has nothing to do with it. 100%. Big Brother is the best place to get the experience a bit of. Oh, sorry. Let me do that again. Big Brother is the best place to get experience a bit of all these negotiate human traits as far away from your real life as possible. Yeah, I mean, you can play any kind of game you want. It could also be not how you are in real life. But I do think there's an aspect to the person that you can't deny that's a part of you, because you can't just play a character for 3 straight months. It's just not humanly possible. You can play a bigger version of yourself, but there's always going to be the real person in there as well. I see what you mean now. Okay, good. I hope I explained myself a little bit better. Kids eat free. Strip club kids eat free, guys. Come on. What's up, Zen Knitter? How you doing? Good to see you. Oh, it's all good. You're late. No worries. No worries. We didn't talk at all about what the thumbnail says and the title says, so I'm gonna have to change that. We just talked more BB27. I was just running to you with that about Morgan. It was about it was the comment in the chair. Gotcha. Okay. All right. I just want to make sure you didn't think that that's how I felt, because that's not how I feel at all. I do not think like that at all. All right. If you could choose one of the house guests to do a deep dive with this season, who would it be? Number 1, Rachel. 1000% Rachel. Number 2, Keanu. Number 3, Vince. And number 4, Morgan. And then 5, Ashley. Like, I'll be real. The winner is a hard 5 on that list, because 1, Rachel's my friend, and she was, a legend, and I want to talk to her about the game and her thoughts about everything, because she knows the game probably better than anyone in the house. 2, Keanu, because Keanu has a huge, fan base. There's just so much I would love to pick apart with his brain about things. Vince and Morgan are kind of coupled up because obviously for the obvious reasons, and then just to see where Vince is at emotionally right now and everything, and like what's the status of his relationship, all that. And then Ashley, I would love to talk over game and stuff, but like those 4 are like way more on the top of my priority list. Yeah. I just want to comment in the chat. Gotcha. Rachel on BB reminds me of Saints. Not good. BB12 wins when I'm too young to get to remember. BB13 biggest screw job in history. So on all winners, she'll go out pre-jury next to Ashley. Oh God. Well, I hope you know that because you guys won it all was because of my detriment. So I hope you're happy with yourself. Back in 09. That's the only time I ever cried after a game was Saints Vikings 09. That one hurt. Damn you, Brett Favre. Rachel and Ashley keep dives are a must. Or I think deep dives is what you meant there. Rachel and Ashley deep dives are a must. That's fine. What would you guys like to see? Who of all those people would you like to see? I have my list, but I want to know your guys' list, because your guys' list is what matters to me. You guys are the viewers. You guys are the ones that are going to show up. So if you have a different list, that'd be great. I feel like Keanu deep dive would be very interesting, so he could fully understand how he literally has 0 allies this season. Rachel kind of, but not entirely. I would definitely get into that for sure. Keanu deep dive would be so funny because he had no idea what was going on week by week. I would love to just like fill him in on things while at the same time picking his brain about everything. And then like talking about like the reaction to everything post game too. Did you ever play in Sequester, Mafia, or Blood on the Clock Tower, or one of those games on Rob Has a Podcast? Sincere. We actually just did a whole rewatch of my Big Brother. My Rehab Sequester season that I played. I got very far. And yeah, I was on the Rehab Sequester during COVID. So if you guys haven't checked that out, it's in some of my old videos. You guys can see part 1, part 2, and part 3. So yeah, I did do the Rehab Sequester All the other stuff, no, I did not. Those came way later after I left. Oh no, you're good, Sincere. I'm not giving you a hard time. I more so find it funny just because it's like that's one of the things that people absolutely hated me on, like Twitter and Reddit and stuff after the fact. So it's like I always just like, I don't know. It's just funny to me because I thought I played a good game, but I got shit on so much in that game. So if you want to go check it out, also there's some really good videos of it on YouTube. I think Survivor Florida does a really good one. It's just type in Rahap Sequester and you'll see me on there. You can watch the whole video. It's good. Oops. I never got married. I'll never get married when I can just pay strippers my whole life and never have the downside of a relationship. Tommy, what do you do for a living besides the band? Because I gotta know. Where does this money come from? Oh, that's hilarious. I love Tommy. He's so funny. People act like Rachel would have taken Keanu to the final 2 if he didn't backstab her, but she would have never taken him. She pretty much she said pretty much in the diary room. I don't disagree. I don't think neither of them would have taken each other, to be honest with you. But I think I would have loved to see the whole dynamic of that play out. That's more so where we missed out on, was the dynamic of that relationship and where did it end? Because it ended so abruptly for ridiculous reasons. I never knew you were on Rahap, etc. before. I'm fairly new to the pods, etc. The last couple of years on Rahap. Yeah, I used to be on Rahap. I used to be a live feed updater. Used to be someone that would come on the shows quite regularly, and then not all the time, but occasionally. And then I came here to at Reality After Show, and I did do the Rahap Sequester during COVID, so definitely check that out. It was a lot of fun. Oops. I think from a starting point, Ashley would be in the best on an all winners cast with people Rachel played with, Derek and Cody as a shield and connections to modern winners. I agree. I've said it yesterday, guys. I think that Ashley would be in a prime position if she played on an all winner season. I think who's coming for her, and I think she could do really, really well. She would probably be my winner pick, to be honest with you. Okay, because you look familiar and thought maybe I'd seen you on their channel before. Yep, you definitely had. You definitely probably saw me in the past, probably prior to 2021. So like probably, I think from like 2017 or 2018. I think 2018 to 2021 I was on there on Rahap. What did you do? I'll have to go find it. So Rahap Sequester, type that in on YouTube and watch one of the videos on there. There's a couple good ones that have like the full, they literally made an edited version of like our podcast after we did it. And then it has the full like clipped moments from it. It's not perfect, but it's as good as it's going to get for what it was. And it shows my whole gameplay and like other people's gameplay, even though I feel like I was underrepresented for how well I did. If you guys go and watch that, you'll have to let me know what you think about my gameplay. Even though you have to understand too, during that Rahap Sequester, I wasn't very well, like I was on like I was one of the newer people in that group, right? So a lot of these people knew each other on like a personal level and had been podcasting with each other for years and knew each other in real life and all this stuff. So I was kind of like the outsider looking in. I wasn't as close to Brent back then as I am now. So like, it was just different. So I had an uphill battle. So just to know that I had an uphill battle. After Keanu tried to actively get Rachel on the block on Vince's HOH, there's no way she would have taken him farther. He was an active enemy in the game after that. I mean, I think that they could have mended things for at least a couple weeks if they would have been able to work together. It is interesting. Who knows how it would have played out. I wish we would have been able to see it. I wish we would have at least been able to see that storyline play itself out, whether it went one way or the other. Like it was an active storyline that we were all engaged in that just died because of that twist. They should have made the mastermind thing an actual part of the game and not some irrelevant side plot. Like let each house guest make a guess once during the season who it is and they win POV. I would have liked that over the hamster twist a million times. Ashley, Chelsea, Taylor would be well connected on an all winner season. I absolutely agree. I think that could be a strong trio right there. And Rachel, put Rachel in there too. I think they would be Cookout 2.0 on all winners. Not as strong as the OG Cookout. No, of course not. The OG Cookout was very strong. Ashley would choose Rachel over the others. I agree. I think Ashley would 100% choose Rachel, but I think they would all work together for sure. Just my band. I push my shit hard. You are good, man. You're crazy. Like, that's wild to me. Like, your band is kick ass. I love your band. Like, guys, go check out Don't Bite Your Tongue. But I listen to his stuff all the time. But man, that's crazy. I'm not disagreeing that Rachel should have felt betrayed, but I'm saying she wasn't taking him to final two even before he got shady and went behind her back. No, I agree. At the time, definitely that wasn't going to happen, but I would have loved to see how it play it out, to see if it would have played out completely the same way, or if they would have ended up working together. Who knows? Sorry, I had to go back to do some work stuff. No worries. I'm kind of wrapping it up right now anyways. Chelsea would run circles around Ashley and Taylor, though. I agree. I honestly agree. I think Chelsea is the strongest of those three, but I do think Ashley has no target on her back, even compared to Chelsea and Taylor. Rachel was the only player that would know who all three masterminds were. LOL. It's true. That's very true. No one else would know. Love the cookout, but the gameplay made the season the worst of the new era, even for me. So boring to watch. Wasn't my favorite season, but it was a very strong group for sure. Chelsea would be stuck in cookout. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting dynamic to play out and to see how it actually would have happened. All right, guys, I think I got to take off now. It's already 2:40. I got to start getting ready for work. Holy crap, I got to do laundry. Crap. I'm falling behind. All right, guys, thank you so much again. I'm going to have to change the thumbnail and everything too, because we did not talk about what we were going to talk about today. I did make it to the bottom finally. It took me a minute, but I made it. So guys, thank you so much once again. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys are awesome. I'm so glad to see, even days after the Big Brother finale, you guys are still here with me, hanging out and joining me in the chat. So guys, twitch.tv/Bobby Goodsby to follow me on Twitch, at Goodsby Bobby for my social media handles, and then at After Show on YouTube. If you guys would love to give us a follow here, please hit that bell notification and be notified whenever we do go live. I also notify on my social media handles. And guys, hit that like button. There was like 40 something of us in here at one time. If we can hit that like button, it really helps me out. It makes Fairplay understand that what I'm doing here is working. So I appreciate it. You guys have been killing it with my numbers. I think I had like 1,000 people who watched yesterday's video, like 1,200 who watched 2 days ago. So without you guys, this is not possible. Hopefully we'll be in like the 700s. I know it's going to go down a little because Big Brother's wrapping up and people are starting to tune out from the Big Brother conversation. But we have Survivor Week 2 coming up. We've got Dancing with the Stars coverage. We got Traders. We've got Amazing Race right now currently going on. And then we got Traders Canada around the corner as well. So guys, I will be talking about everything reality TV, and only want you guys to be a part of that community. I want you guys to be a part of this with me, and I hope you guys enjoy the content and enjoy what I bring to the table. If you guys can, also one more thing, if you guys can leave a comment, even if it's like, we love you, Bobby, or we hate you, Bobby, I don't care. Whatever it is, if you can put that in the comments of the YouTube video after the fact, it would absolutely help me out too, because more comments, more likes get you more involvement in the algorithm and gets us in front of more people that can be here joining us in the chat and build this community to what we want it to be. So guys, thank you so much for being here. I will be back on Thursday from 12 noon Pacific to 2 p.m. Pacific. I go live every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So I will see you guys on Thursday, where we will be talking a lot of Survivor, I'm sure, and possibly other content, maybe some more Big Brother, because we'll probably turn into more Big Brother talk. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys on Thursday at noon Pacific. Bye, guys.